Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I now call to order the 103rd DAV and DAV Auxiliary National Convention. I'm honored to invite National Adjutant Barry Jesenowski to read the call to convention.
The Constitution and bylaws of DAV, Disabled American Veterans, state that the supreme legislative powers of this organization shall be vested in an annual national convention composed of the national officers and representatives of our state departments and chapters. As National Adjutant and Secretary for this event, I'm honored to officially declare the 103rd National Convention of Disabled American Veterans to be convened in Las Vegas, Nevada at 8:30 a.m. Saturday, August 9th, 2025. Consideration and disposition of business brought before this convention shall be conducted in accordance with the National Constitution and bylaws now in force.
Thank you, Barry. Please silence your cell phones and other mobile devices. Please rise. Here to present the colors is Black Mountain Chapter 12, Honor Guard from Henderson, Nevada. Members including Neil Johnson, Ricardo Portillo, Carl Hagan, Phil Webb, Jan Kopax, and Kathy Arment. Present colors. Ladies and gentlemen, here to perform our national anthem is Navy veteran and violinist Amanda Wirtz. I need to move the script. She is a decorated U.S. Navy cryptologist, analyst who served in combat deployments in both Iraq and Yugoslavia. After being medically separated due to a rare incurable disease, she continued her mission as a researcher with the Veterans Medical Research Foundation, turning personal adversity into public impact. She's volunteered over 17,000 hours in humanitarian services. Her dedication has earned her a multitude of honors, including California State Assembly Veteran of the Year and Ms. Veteran of America. Above all, she is a proud member of our organization, a past Department of California Disabled American Veteran of the Year. She's honored to stand among the resilient, courageous, and compassionate community that embodies the very heart of our organization. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Amanda Wirtz. Thank you, Amanda, for that truly beautiful performance. Now, please remain standing and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Chapter 12 Honor Guard from the Department of Nevada for getting our 103rd National Convention started in the right way. I'd like to call on our National Chaplain, Deborah Varner Dancer, to lead us in prayer.
Good morning. Let us pray. Almighty Creator, it's once and again that we ask of you as we begin this great convention, knowing that your presence is always with us. As we go about our day and the rest of this convention, we ask for your guidance, your wisdom, your knowledge as we participate and encourage and go about our daily being. We do give you thanks for all of those that have arrived with expectation that this time shall be greater and better. We receive it by faith. These and all things we ask in your name. And the people said, amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain. I would now like to introduce our first speaker, the Nevada Department of Veterans Services Director, Colonel Mary Devine. Colonel Devine recently retired from the Nevada National Guard after serving for 36 years. Her last assignment with the Guard was as Chief of Staff to the General Adjutant. Prior to that, she was the Property and Fiscal Officer overseeing $1 billion in federal assets. Colonel Devine has also served as Brigade Commander in the 99th 1st Aviation Troop Command and Commander of the 402nd Expeditionary Signal Battalion. As a public servant, she chaired the Board of Directors for the United Way of Northern Nevada and the Sierra. Colonel Devine took her post as director following her appointment by Governor Lombardo in March of 2024. Please welcome Colonel Devine.
Thank you. Good morning, DAV, and welcome to Nevada. Thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you so much for the work that you do in support of our veterans, and thank you to your families for everything that they do to support your dreams. I am blessed to stand before you as the Director for Nevada Department of Veteran Services. It's been an amazing ride and one of the biggest honors of my career. I'm also humbled to stand before you as a fellow veteran, a staunch advocate, and a big supporter of what you do, and also as a lifetime member of the DAV. I bring greetings from Governor Lombardo. He would like you to know how deeply he appreciates and how thankful he is for the work that you do, both in uniform and in support of our veterans and their community. You are an inspiration to so many, including our younger generation, who we know will follow in your footsteps and lead this amazing organization. We at the department are committed to never leave a sister or brother behind, and we are committed to partner with our veteran service organizations. Governor Lombardo and I would like to say again, thank you to the DAV leadership and its members, its volunteers and supporters. Your steadfast commitment to improving the lives of our veterans is not going unnoticed. Our mission at the Nevada Department of Veteran Services aligns closely with yours. We ensure that every veteran receives the care, benefits, and recognition they have so earned and deserve. We can't do that alone. We have to do that through collaboration and partnership. So every step of the way, our partners at DAV and other veteran service organizations are of the utmost priority. Let's talk a little bit about claims. We know that the power of a claim can change a life of a veteran as we connect them to their earned benefits. This includes the work of our veteran service officers. They are our very foundation. They are the backbone of our organization, and they serve as change agents in every commitment and contact that they have with our veterans. They make a difference in every phone call, in every email, and every contact. They are at the forefront of our never-ending asymmetric battle with connecting our veterans to their benefits. But our VSOs cannot be everywhere. That's why the partnership and collaboration between all of our veteran service organizations and their veteran service officers is so important. One of the biggest initiatives here in Nevada that we are working on is providing additional training to all VSOs, all certified VSOs, to make sure that we can bring the best and the most current regulations and training to everyone, so we can continue to change lives. In fact, this partnership is so important to us that I know he's around here somewhere. Jerome Washington and I talk about this almost every week. He is a steadfast supporter, and he helps me and helps our department change lives every day. We want to make sure that the men and women are not only accredited through the VA, but that the VSOs have the skills and knowledge that they need to be successful to help our veterans with whatever comes their way. Again, connecting our veterans to their earned benefits takes that one-on-one connection and the time and personal touch that are provided by our veteran service officers. We are proud to partner in outreach with the DAV, where we make a difference in connections in so many different ways. In addition to filing claims, we work together at many outreach events, and our department is a huge supporter of assisting our homeless or soon to potentially be unhoused, and working on suicide prevention among our top priorities. Like NDVS, DAV also serves as an important safety net for our veterans. Among all of the things that you do, you also make sure that our veterans in rural areas have transportation to their medical appointments. We are so very honored to have partnered with you to bring new vans and transportation to our rural areas. You also serve as an important voice. I am proud to say and to share that Nevada is expanding our Southern Nevada Veterans Home, and through the assistance of DAV and your voice in helping our legislators understand, that project of about $170 million will be coming our way very soon. We'll modernize that 20-year-old facility from a 180-bed facility to a 120-bed facility that will all have private rooms, private bathrooms, and access to many more activities. In addition to that, your voice has assisted us with building a third home in Nevada out by the Decatur DMV. That's a $270 million project that will bring another 120 beds for our veterans and all kinds of activities and amazing amenities to make sure that we get our veterans the support that they need. Your help and support in the Nevada legislature is so appreciated. You were there and up to the task and showed up every time we had a significant piece of legislation going in front of that body. We appreciate your support and make sure that the state veterans cemeteries in Fernley and Boulder City have the equipment and upkeep and the funding that they need for expansion to keep up with our demand. As long as there are veterans in need, our work is not done. Our collaboration and combined arms focus to create overlapping areas of support and service are critical. I want to take a moment to welcome home our Vietnam veterans and all other veterans that served domestically and abroad. You are part of an amazing team, and you are part of something that has truly made a difference and makes our country as great as it is. Thank you for turning hardship into hope as we are proud to walk beside the DAV in every mission. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, your continued leadership in this new chapter of service to others. I wish you a productive convention and thank you again for this opportunity to be with you. I could not be more proud of the people in this room and everything that you represent. Again, God bless our veterans community, the great state of Nevada, and this great nation. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Colonel Devine, for the great work that you do and for all the veterans here in the great state of Nevada. Our next guest runs a city that is host to this year's gathering, the Honorable Shelley Berkley. Not only is she mayor of Las Vegas, she is also a lifelong champion for veterans. Before becoming mayor in 2024, she served 7 terms in the United States House of Representatives, where she was a powerful voice on the Veterans Affairs Committee. One of her proudest achievements in Congress was leading the charge to build the Veterans Administration Medical Complex in Southern Nevada, ensuring veterans have access to the high-quality health care they deserve. Throughout her career in public service, from the Nevada legislature to Congress and higher education leadership, Mayor Berkley has consistently fought for better health care access, expanded medical education, and support for those who served. A native of Las Vegas, she was the first in her family to attend college, graduating from UNLV as student body president. Mayor Berkley is also a proud mother and grandmother and continues to serve her community with deep compassion and unwavering commitment to those who served our nation. Please welcome the Mayor of Las Vegas, the Honorable Shelley Berkley.
How are you? Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. This is an extraordinary turnout. As mayor of Las Vegas, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the most extraordinary city on the planet. We love you, we need you, we salute you, and we want you out in the casinos as soon as this meeting is over. Our economy's a little soft right now, so believe me, this is a sight for sore eyes. You are in one of my favorite hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. My family has a lot of history here. My son got married here. I love it, and I'm so glad to welcome you to Paris, Las Vegas, in the most exciting city on the planet. I have a deep reverence for the people in this room, and I want to tell you why. I am second-generation American. My grandparents on both sides, one from Greece, one from the Russia-Poland border, fled Europe before World War II in order to escape the Nazis and certain death. They had no place to go but to come to America. America not only gave my family the chance to survive, this country has given my family a chance to thrive. I am eternally grateful. It is a country I stand with, I'm proud of, and I'm proud to represent the United States as mayor of the city of Las Vegas. I wouldn't be here today without the sacrifices that everybody in this room has made. And I have said throughout the duration of my time in public office as a congresswoman and now as mayor, how important it is to stand up with our vets and make sure you get every possible what would I call it? Expectation of what you deserve for having served your country and served so well. Healthcare, transportation, job training, mental health issues. Everything that needs to be done for our vets needs to be done without sacrificing and without cutting a penny. The new VA hospital in North Las Vegas, which was in my congressional district when I was serving, was created in large part because of this organization. I became very friendly when I was sitting on the Veterans Affairs Committee with the local representative of the DAV. He was wheelchair bound. He had served his country with distinction. He was injured and in that wheelchair because of his service to the United States. We had no health care facilities in Las Vegas at the time he was serving. And there was a time that he needed to seek serious medical help and had to go to another state in order to have his health care needs met. I never saw him again after he left. And I realized at that time that no veteran should have to travel out of state in order to get the health care they deserve and that we owe them. And we needed to have a hospital here in Las Vegas. So on behalf of the countless of tens of thousands of veterans in Southern Nevada who have had their health care needs met at our brand new state-of-the-art hospital, I thank everybody in this room for making a difference in the lives of veterans who you may never meet, who you may never know, but they owe you and this organization a tremendous debt of gratitude. Now, before I leave, they gave me 4 minutes. I'm taking a few minutes more. I would be remiss as mayor of Las Vegas if I didn't tell you how much we appreciate you being here right now. Tourism is a little soft, and the fact that we've got 2,200 veterans, citizens, and my fellow Americans here in Las Vegas makes me so happy I can't even begin to talk about it. So remember, after the speeches, after the awards, after the scholarship presentations, very, very important thing that this organization does, we have a whole world out there waiting to see you. So enjoy the amenities of Las Vegas. Great, great restaurants, great food, great entertainment, and I promise you, if you gamble, you will go home a winner. And in the unlikely that you do not win, then just know that the school children in the state of Nevada are very appreciative of your efforts. On behalf of everybody in Southern Nevada, I want to welcome you, I want to thank you, and I want to let you know how grateful we are to everybody in this room for your selfless service, your contributions, and your sacrifices. They are noted and appreciated every single day. God bless. God bless America.
Thank you, Mayor Berkley. Thank you for your work in Congress to support our veterans ahead of everything that
Oh,
you're
thank
now.
you.
And thank you for your
thank you.
gracious hospitality here. But they always say, right, it's gambling, not winning, right? So
Oh, no. It's definitely gambling.
it's just gambling. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce our 2025 National Convention Chair, Department of Nevada, Adjutant Jerome Washington. Jerome proudly served in the Army's 101st Airborne Division from 2001 to 2006. He was medically discharged following a deployment to Iraq. He joined DAV's ranks in 2007 and has held numerous leadership positions since. Please welcome Jerome Washington to the stage.
Love you back. Thank you, Commander Contreras, for that very kind introduction. Good morning, DAV and the auxiliary. On behalf of the Department of Nevada, welcome to Las Vegas. To National Commander Contreras, National Adjutant Jasanowski, National Line Officers, Auxiliary National Commander Easley, Auxiliary National Commander Adjutant Klaus, Auxiliary National Line Officers, distinguished guests, and my fellow DAV members. It's an honor to be here with you. There's nothing quite like the feeling you get from being surrounded by thousands of fellow veterans and those supporters committed to care to cause much greater than themselves. I'm pleased to welcome you here to America's Playground. I remember last convention in Phoenix where we were wishing for a city just as hot. I've got two words for you: jackpot. I am pleased to tell you that there is an infinite amount of fun things to do in this city, from the vibrant nightlife to grand casinos and endless entertainment options. Las Vegas is a landscape like no other. With over 300 vows exchanged a day, you're officially in one of the top wedding destinations in the world. If you decide to tie the knot while you're here, congratulations. And please stop by and visit one of our national service officers for a special wedding gift. They don't have any rice to throw, but they'll absolutely help you update your records with the VA. For those wanting to escape the neon glow, there's plenty of natural beauty nearby. Some of my favorites include the Bellagio Conservatory, Botanical Gardens, the Red Rock Canyon, and the Cowboy Trails for horseback riding. For those interested in unique museums and installations, we have the Neon Museum, Pinball Hall of Fame, the Mob Museum, Area 15, or 7 Magic Mountains, which is an art installation just outside the city. As we look ahead over the next 4 days, there are plenty of ways to stay busy. However, and most importantly, we cannot forget why we are here. This convention gives us the opportunity not just to enjoy each other's company, but to re-energize, to reconnect, and to remember the powerful mission we're all a part of. You will hear several reminders this week of how critical DAV's mission is right now, and it's true. Every voice here matters as we continue to advocate for disabled veterans across the country. Our promise to men and women of all generations who served and sacrificed for our great nation is one worth fighting for. And we will not stop until it's fulfilled. So as you enjoy the lights, the sights, and even an Elvis impersonated welcoming you into a marital bliss, keep the mission close to your heart. Thank you for everything that you do for veterans, their families, our future. And the city lights, let's make memories that shine even brighter. Thank you, and have a wonderful time in Las Vegas. Thank you.
And now, your DAV auxiliary staff and national officers. National Auxiliary Adjutant Bunny Kloss of Kentucky. National Chaplain Austin Blanton of Arkansas. Judge Advocate Paula Raymond of Illinois. Fourth Junior Vice Commander Jane Casher of Kentucky. Third Junior Vice Commander Carolyn Harris of Alabama. Second Junior Vice Commander Terry Grabowski of New York. First Junior Vice Commander Kathleen Wenthy of Louisiana. Senior Vice Commander Melissa Pierce of Iowa. Your past Auxiliary National Commander Anne Marie Hurley of Massachusetts. Your DAV Auxiliary National Commander Christopher Easley of Oklahoma. And now, your DAV National Officers. Your past National Commander and Chairman of the Board, from Kaysville, Utah, Nancy Espinosa. Hailing from Birmingham, Alabama, our National Chaplain, Deborah Varner Dancer. The pride of Grand Forks, North Dakota, our National Judge Advocate, Mike Dobmeyer. Your fourth Junior Vice Commander, from Sierra Vista, Arizona, Glenn Homan. Your third Junior Vice Commander, from Bolivia, North Carolina, James Procunior. Your second Junior Vice Commander, from Portsmouth, Virginia, Cynthia Madison. Your first Junior Vice Commander, from Conway, Arkansas, John Donovan. And finally, welcome to the stage, from Boston, Massachusetts, your Senior Vice Commander, Coleman Nee.
Good morning. Everybody pumped up? All right. Well, right now I have the great privilege and honor of introducing my friend, your National Commander, Daniel Contreras. Yeah, we could clap for Dan. Come on. Commander Contreras is a service-connected disabled veteran from the United States Army. He joined DAV in 1999 and has served at all levels of DAV. His professional career with DAV began in 2000 as a National Service Officer. He was promoted to National Western Area Supervisor for Area 9 in 2006, and then in 2008 he became the Adjutant and Treasurer for the DAV Department of California. He is a proud member of Chapter 24 in Ventura. He served on the DAV National Executive Committee, spent a decade on the DAV National Service Foundation's Board of Directors, and was also appointed to chair the California Mexican American Veterans Memorial Committee by both California Governors Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jerry Brown. Last year, to our great pleasure, Commander Contreras was elected by you, our DAV members, to lead our national organization at our convention in Phoenix, and he has done an outstanding job. Ladies and gentlemen, even though my good friend Dan roots for a certain team in LA that's blue and white, and has all the good Red Sox players on them, winning them World Series. I honestly, there is no greater friend to our veteran or someone more enthusiastic about serving you and our cause than this gentleman right here. And it's with my great pleasure that I introduce to you your National Commander, Dan Contreras.
I know. Come on, let's get fired up! Woo! Wow! You know, I picked that walk-on song, and I wanted to walk up on that song, right? Thank you, Coleman, and good morning, and welcome to Las Vegas. It's such an incredible place. It's incredible, the sights, the sounds, so many sounds, right? So many slot machines, too. And if you know me, that makes me happy. Matter of fact, Barry, if I'm missing and needed on stage, just send somebody to the Buffalo Grand Slots, because I'm going to be chasing the triple multiplier. How many of you play the Buffalo one? Yeah. But what makes Las Vegas truly incredible to me isn't the spectacle going around. It's you. It's you. It's all of you. This is more than a convention. It's our family reunion. And to spend this time with all of you, well, that beats a jackpot any day. And it's the perfect end to a year where you so graciously entrusted me to be your voice. And serving as your national commander has taken me to the tops of mountains and into the heart of our nation's capital. You've invited me into your departments and chapters and into your communities to see the work that you do for veterans. And I was impressed before, but seeing it firsthand, I'm in awe. And one example of many I could give, I was just in Helena, Montana, and the community there loves DAV. They had over 140 local sponsors for their department's golf fundraiser. 140. And you don't get that much support by being anonymous. You get it by being present, by being influential, by owning your footprint. To all of you, the commitment I've seen you give to our fellow veterans, their families, and caregivers in so many ways reinforces why no organization serves veterans better than DAV. And this year, you shared your victories and your personal triumphs. People like my friend Devora Exline, a Navy veteran I spent time with at the National Disabled Veterans Winter Sports Clinic. She is one of the most positive, fiercely determined people you'll ever have the pleasure to meet. For years, she had to use a sit ski to participate at the clinic because of her injuries. And this year, she vowed to ski standing again. Overcoming self-doubt, injuries, medical setbacks, she did it. She stood and skied into the waving arms of her coach.
Oh, that was great. I
Tears
love
of
it.
joy on her face. And she shares the resilience I saw in every veteran at that clinic. And like them all, Devora's story didn't end at the bottom of that hill. It continues. She decided to become a certified adaptive sports coach to help other ill and injured veterans find their own victories. Is there a more perfect reflection of what we represent as DAV? I've gotten so many opportunities to witness your victories this past year and to celebrate them with you. Man, that's a great feeling for me because hope is infectious and laughter Yes, laughter, it brings us together. And I laughed all over the place, and especially in Rhode Island, from trying things like scrod and fluff, or even trying my first Bucky's beaver nuggets in Georgia. Delicious, aren't they? Go Georgia. And Texas. I know I've seen them all over the place now. But also singing karaoke. New York, Nevada, Wisconsin, Minnesota. In fact, what state haven't I sang karaoke in? But honestly, you know, I'll turn any party into a karaoke party. Hit it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. But there's the theme convention costumes too, like the time I showed up in the Department of Mississippi's convention in a ghillie suit. Where's Carol Davis? Hey, you still owe me that push-up contest, Carol Davis, wherever you are. But through all that fun, I've learned a lot. And first, I want you to hear this. The strongest DAV departments and chapters, the ones that are really thriving, are the ones that are super connected with their auxiliary departments and units. They're the ones that operate as an integrated team. And as welcome as I've been with DAV, I've been so welcomed by the auxiliaries hospitality everywhere I've been, and grateful to engage with so many of their members. They are doing such a great job of bringing the spouses and the children of veterans in, giving them a deeper understanding of the work DAV does, and giving them the opportunity to serve and make a difference too. I also have learned a lot from what I like to call power mingling and being the last guy in the room. These conversations were some of the most powerful ones I had all year, because you elected me to be your voice. And for me to do that, I had to listen first. You shared your burdens, and off stage, away from any microphones, lights, cameras, so many of you have opened up about your own struggles, your setbacks, your frustrations. And from the bottom of my heart, I tell you, it was an honor and a privilege to hear what you had to say, because you trusted me to take those stories and use them to influence our advocacy work. And there are brushstrokes in every conversations I had with each of you and every word I've spoken on behalf of this organization. Because the government of we the people needs to hear the unvarnished truth from those who sacrifice to protect it, the good and the bad. And we put that truth out this past year when we released a report called Ending the Wait for Toxic Exposed Veterans. And partnering with the Military Officers Association of America, we laid out a blueprint for the government to dramatically reform how it handles service-related toxic exposures. Our veterans deserve timely, equitable access to life-saving care and benefits, and no one should have to wait decades to get it. This report revealed that the average time a toxic exposed veteran has to wait to receive their full range of health care and benefits is just over 34 years. 34 years from formal recognition by the government that exposure occurred and made our veterans sick, to suffer that long from a life-threatening disease or illness because of being exposed during service is unacceptable, and I know you agree with me on that. But listen, your stories are at the heart of that report, and change will come, so please keep telling your story and continue that fight. The other battle we fought this past year was with Mother Nature. Across the country, we saw a lot of natural disasters, including catastrophic floods in the South and fires in my home state of California. And even before the flames were doused and the floodwaters receded, I witnessed our National Service officers and chapter members rushed to support our fellow veterans. They brought supplies and donations and financial assistance and help to those in need. Your compassion for others is unparalleled. Never lose that. Also, never forget your battle buddy. Stay united. A couple of months ago, I was invited by the Robert Irvine Foundation to join 65 other disabled veterans going to Scotland to take part in the Cateran Yomp. An incredible test of endurance and grit. Our group, along with 1,000 other veterans from around the world, trekked 24 grueling miles up and down the rugged terrain of the Scottish Highlands. It was cold, it was raining, it even hailed at one point. It was one of the most difficult physical things many of us had ever done. Little secret, the most I'd ever hiked was 7 miles on a golf course. But you know what? Yes, it was one of the most difficult challenges, but also one of the most rewarding. Because what we all quickly discovered is that the Yomp isn't designed to be completed alone. It demanded that we encourage each other. It demanded that we helped each other. It demanded unity by a bond, a common goal. And it was the perfect reflection of the ethos of DAV. Even in the face of trial and adversity, our spirit remains unbreakable, and we remain united. Each year, the person elected to this post is invited to testify in front of a joint session of the House and Senate Veterans Affairs Committee. We're offered the opportunity to lay out our legislative priorities, the things that matter most to you before the lawmakers of the nation. The conversations, the debate, the resolutions, the stories, everything that happens at your chapter, department, and convention meetings. That's what forms what is said into those few but critical minutes. And here's something that you may not have known about that time. I barely slept the night before, in bed by 8:30, up at 11, then again at 1, and again and again. In those quiet moments, my mind kept racing. It's not like I wasn't prepared, quite the opposite. Because thanks to Barry, Cody, Randy, and our team in Washington and at the national headquarters who helped me with that, I walked into that room confident the message we wanted to deliver was going to be heard loud and clear. I was awake because of the energy of our purpose, our mission. That's what kept me up. I see that same energy in so many of you. You will not fall asleep while you hold the watch. And as long as you have breath in your lungs, you will hold accountable those whose duty is to honor the sacred promise of our nation. The promise that was made to its defenders. It's never about any individual. And at that midwinter conference, you proved it. You were in lockstep as you met with lawmakers and shared our priorities. You ensured that there was no misunderstanding of what we are fighting for. You made me so proud to be a DAV member that day. And it was the honor of a lifetime to be there with you. This year wasn't without its challenges. There's always speed bumps that arise every election cycle. But it was also challenging personally. And many of you know that my wife, Teresa, is battling stage 4 cancer. And I've served by her side as she's endured surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation, infusions, and a medical trial. As you can imagine, it hasn't been easy for her, but I've never been more prouder of someone in my life. Teresa. Teresa, the grace and courage and determination you've shown through all you've endured, and even when no one is watching, has been inspiring to me. And with your blessing, it's been inspiration to others too. You and I had many conversations about the running for national commander. We knew what it would entail if I was elected, the frequent travel, the long hours, the responsibility. And you encouraged me anyway, knowing that sharing our experience might help others, because we are not alone. So many of you in this room have faced a similar diagnosis or have a loved one who has. And there are others here who are caregivers or rely on one every day. And I've spoken to so many of you this past year. I've listened as you've opened up about the challenges and the misconceptions people have about your role as a caregiver. I've also heard about the lighthearted moments as well, because there are a lot of those too. You've taught me a lot in these conversations, and I've allowed it to shape my thoughts. And I hope our family story has helped you as well. And please know that you are not alone, you are not invisible. I see you, we see you, and DAV is here to walk alongside of you. I'm so proud of how DAV Caregivers has been a place people turn to for that help and is a community that continues to grow. I was able to participate in caregiver events through our adaptive sports program, and hearing from these unsung heroes and seeing the impact of our efforts to support them is a part of my term and DAV history I will treasure forever. DAV is invested in this for the long term. It was a great honor to have been your national commander when DAV caregiver support was elevated to the program level at our national headquarters. It shows that the special focus DAV is directing towards this important new services initiative. It's a huge win for the veterans we serve and a major victory to the thousands who deserve and need this transformative support. To every caregiver in this room, thank you for your service. You are not alone. And please, if there's only one thing you do this entire convention, sign up for DAV Caregiver Support. I promise it will make a big difference in your life. And as I close, I just want to say how inspiring this past year has been. It's been incredible to be around this organization such a long time, as a member, a service officer, and a department leader. I don't belong to any other organizations except for DAV. Never have and probably never will. Getting to see it from the perspective as National Commander reinforces that feeling entirely. It's been clear to me that we are in a position to serve more veterans, more families, more caregivers, and more survivors than ever before. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but I'm confident as we elect our next leaders this week, we will remain focused, driven, and most importantly, successful in taking care of ill and injured veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge some very important people in my life who have helped me along this journey. And once again, first and foremost, my wife, Teresa. Teresa, you have been my steady light, graceful in your struggle, unwavering in your love, and even when facing your own pain, you lifted me, you believed in me, and made space for my dreams. Your courage inspired me, and your love given so freely will forever live in my heart. I'm endlessly thankful for your strength, your laughter, and the quiet way you've always stood by me. Thank you, baby. To my son, Robert, who couldn't be here, grandchildren, busy stuff, you know, but he was with me last year. I look forward to catching as many championship Dodgers, #1 team right now in the West, better than the Red Sox. But anyway, Guess what? I'm going to have a lot more time to do that. He has blessed us, with 4 beautiful grandchildren, and he's an awesome father. I think that's his greatest gift, and so I'm so proud of him. My 3 brothers, Reuben, Andrew, and David, thank you for your service. And if you were all here, I'm also apologizing for teasing them so bad last year. Thank you to them and my sisters, Betty and Irma, for their guidance and support. To my Chief of Staff, Enrique Ramos. Thank you for your incredible support. And you know what? I must admit, in the toughest moments, it's good to have a Marine by your side. Thank you to everyone at the Department of California. You continue to serve our state, our chapters, and members so well. Thank you for everything you do. To our National Line officers, Coleman, John, Cynthia, Jim, and Glenn. Always remember, in DAV, we make a life by staying in the room, by holding space for stories that break your heart, by standing in the gap when someone's world's falling apart. You are the boots on the ground. You are the hands that heal, the heart that reminds someone that that still matters. Thank you for the year of great support. I know you will all do great things. To my good friend, our National Adjutant, Barry Jesnowski, I cannot express how much your leadership, mentorship, and friendship has meant to me over the years. Thank you so much, Barry. To National Headquarters Executive Director Cody Van Boxel and your team in Erlanger, as well as Washington Headquarters Executive Director Randy Reese and your team in DC. A lot of time in Washington. You all were so gracious with your time, support, and counsel during my tenure. From the preparation to execution to every detail in between, there's no better team of people helping veterans every day. Every day. To you, thank you, our members, for all the work that you do in your own communities, because that's where the work gets done. You're here for a purpose. We are a family, but I know that you have some cousins that you haven't met yet. So honestly, when I say I'm a voice for you, if I can, and I will stop and talk to you. And the last man in the room thing, I'll try, but honestly, take advantage of this time. Let's get fired up. This is DAV, and we're going to have a good convention, aren't we? Thank you. God bless you, the DAV, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Oh my God, except for the Red Sox, what inspiring words. Commander, your fierce and passionate leadership has been an inspiration to this entire organization. I can assure you that. Most importantly, I just want to say, I think what the commander did is he brought fun back to this organization, because it's been a long time since the pandemic and everything else. Throughout your long tenure as a DAV advocate and leader, you've never wavered. You've always put the needs of our veterans and families first in all that you do. Thank you for your mentorship, Dan. I really mean that. Your generosity, and really for you just setting such a high bar for us behind you. It means a lot, and it means a lot to the organization, and we will do you proud. I move to accept the National Commander's Report. May I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And now let me introduce the governing body of this fine organization, your DAV National Executive Committee. Ladies and gentlemen of the National Executive Committee, please stand and be recognized. And I ask that the Auxiliary National Executive Committee stand and be recognized. Bravo. It now gives me tremendous pleasure to introduce a friend to all our nation's veterans and their family members, Auxiliary National Commander Christopher Easley. His dedication to DAV and the Auxiliary began early on. He grew up going to Unit 5 meetings with his mother and grandmother in San Antonio. It was here that he learned the profound meaning of being an American from the veterans and their families, shaping his long life commitment to service. Chris's extensive involvement within the DAV Auxiliary spans decades in multiple states. In Texas, he held various units and district office positions, including all elected positions in Texas District 5, and served on numerous state committees. His leadership role escalated to include state chaplain, junior vice, senior vice, and ultimately state commander of Texas. Nationally, Chris contributed significantly as a member of the National Executive Committee for District 20 and chaired the National Finance Committee during his second term, also serving on the Interim Constitution and Bylaw Committee. Beyond Chris's leadership, he is an accomplished musician, playing the violin or fiddle, depending on which part of the country you came home from. He's even performed at the Grand Ole Opry. An Eagle Scout, he has also dedicated his time to mentoring future Eagle Scouts, embodying his belief that the organization must use its collective voice to champion the rights and benefits of disabled veterans and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, your DAV Auxiliary National Commander, Christopher Easley.
Good morning, my DAV and Auxiliary family. Thank you, Commander Contreras, for that warm introduction and for your leadership, compassion, and clear vision. It's been a privilege to stand beside you during a year filled with growth and unity. Together, DAV and the Auxiliary have deepened our commitment to the veterans and the families we serve. This year, as Auxiliary National Commander, has been an indescribable honor. As I prepare to step away, I want to share a piece of my heart that truly reflects what the DAV Auxiliary means to me. My journey with the DAV Auxiliary didn't start when I became a member. It became before I was born. My grandfather, a World War II veteran, passed away in the hospital while my mom was in early labor with me. In that moment of profound loss, DAV was there within 15 minutes, guiding my grandma through her darkest hour. My grandma never forgot that support, and neither has our family. Just 2 months later in June, I attended my very first DAV meeting. I literally grew up in this organization. San Antonio was my home, and my entire social circle consisted of my mom and grandma's friends from the Auxiliary. To me, it was simple. You served, you got hurt, and then you came back to help others who served. They taught me what it meant to be an American, the meaning of patriotism, and the depth of sacrifice. This deep personal history is why the power of family and the next generation is so important to me. For years, we've heard that if we can bring the spouse, we'll get the veteran. And while that's true, I've always believed if we can get the children involved, we'll get the parents. Junior membership isn't just about numbers. It's about building the foundation of our future. The veterans and families who are future leaders at DAV and the Auxiliary are younger. Both the veterans and their spouses are very busy building careers, raising families. It might not be until later in life that they truly feel the impact of the service and seek the support they need. If we can show them the involvement in DAV and the Auxiliary is open to them, a place where your kids are welcomed and engaged, then we open the door to supporting the entire family unit. Imagine the impact of kids encouraging their parents to attend meetings, families participating in our programs together, and a new generation growing up with the same understanding of service and sacrifice that was instilled in many of us. This is how we ensure the legacy of the DAV Auxiliary continues to thrive. My theme this year was one voice, united in service, speaks directly to this. Just like a single voice can inspire a chorus, involving our youngest members strengthen our collective voice. It allows us to speak louder and more clearly for those veterans who can't speak for themselves. Thank you for being part of my family and welcome me and for your unwavering dedication. Let's continue to be the welcoming home for all of our military families, ensuring our voice remains strong and our future is bright. It is one of the greatest honors as Auxiliary Commander to announce our Auxiliary Outstanding Member of the Year. And for 2025, we truly have a gem. She's not only a past state of Georgia Commander, she's also the absolute best of the Auxiliary. Veterans across the Atlanta metro area are living better lives because of this year's honoree. For years, she's been driving force behind the Fort McPherson coat drive, saving us all from our avalanche of forgotten parkas while helping those in need. She's always there, ready to lend a hand for stand-downs at the Atlanta Regional Hospital. She even spearheaded the very first clothing closet for homeless veterans at Fort McPherson. And staying with my theme of family and the next generation, she brought in her unit's first junior member, who happened to be her niece. Her list of community services truly extensive, but what really defines her is her quiet demeanor paired with unshaken determination. Simply put, she is the best among the best. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct privilege to present the DAV Auxiliary Outstanding Member of the Year, Ms. Loretha T. Colbert.
Good luck with some input. Thank you so much. Glad to meet you as well. Take care. Thanks, Al. Ready?
Good morning, DAV Auxiliary. Thank you all for being here today. And of course, I'm a little nervous, but I'm on the big stage. So thank you all to the DAV National Commanders, staff, members, and all who took time to put this together. For your leadership, it has been an honor and a privilege to work with you through a tremendous year of service and advocates for the men and women who have served our great nation. Thank you all again, and may God continue to bless veterans, their families, DAV, and Auxiliary, and to my family, and to Georgia. We're here. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Loretha, and thank you, Commander Contreras, for your leadership. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you throughout a tremendous year of service and advocacy for the men and women who have served our great nation. Thank you all again, and may God continue to bless our veterans, their families, DAV, and the Auxiliary, as always, may God bless America. Thank you.
It is my great honor to introduce a leader who has dedicated his life to service, both in uniform and in government. As Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the Honorable Doug Collins brings not only a deep understanding of policy and public service, but a fierce commitment to the well-being of our nation's veterans. A former member of Congress and a veteran of the United States Air Force Reserve, Secretary Collins has long championed the needs of those who served, ensuring they receive the care, support, and respect they have earned. Under his leadership, the VA has continued to modernize, expand access to care, and address some of the most pressing challenges facing today's veterans and their families. Please join me in welcoming a friend to all who have served, the 12th Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins.
Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. You've been doing well. You did a great speech. Great
I
speech.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's good. Well, hello, everybody. Oh, come on. I know it's Vegas and last night was a little just short term, but good morning. Good morning. There we go. I bet my Marines are in the house. All I got to do is say Marines and I hear a bark. We're all good. Look, it's great to be back here with you because, you know, almost 6 months ago, I gave my first speech to any of our VSOs, to any other place we have, in Washington, D.C., to DAV. So today, let's just call it a 6-month checkup or check-in, however you want to look at it. But before I do that, I do have to recognize, you know, your national adjutant, Barry, but also Randy Reese, who has been a friend and one up in D.C. with us. But I also have to say, Daniel, your leadership, your heart that came through so clearly in just a few moments ago with your family and your beautiful bride who is here. I just want to say, from my perspective, the Secretary, thank you for what you have meant to this organization, but more importantly, what you meant to our country. I think it's time for one more round of applause for Daniel. Thank you. But I did see something as I was looking there, Daniel. I do have to bring up an issue. Did y'all see the pictures with the Dodger hat on? I just happened to be from a little place called Atlanta, and America's team is the Braves, okay? Or also, if you're getting ready for football season, go Dogs. I got my barking going here. Did I honestly just hear barking? God, I'm so happy to be here. I tell you what, look, when we deal in an organization the size of the VA, and the things that I look back on 6 months ago when I spoke to you in Washington, I'm here to tell you that my commitment is not changed. It's not wavered. In fact, if anything, it has gotten stronger, that I'm totally committed that the VA is a service organization with only one service that it has, and that is to take care of the veterans of the United States of America, and that is all we're going to be about. Now, we can go through a lot of things, and look, the one thing that I have found out is that when you improve one area, somebody else didn't get improved, and so we're still struggling. We say, well, that didn't happen for me. All I can say is this. I got 6 months in. We've done some good stuff. In just this past 6 months, we have opened over a dozen new clinics and facilities across this country, putting people in places closer to the people in our clinics, closer to where you need to be. We've taken seriously the idea of taking and spending $800 million in improving our facilities across the country that are making it easier for our veterans to give, but also to do the one thing that we're supposed to do. And that was something that surprised me when I first came in. And what surprised me when we first came in is that we are the largest healthcare organization in the world. What I found out, though, is we are not acting like it. And I'm going to tell you, as Secretary, the one question I've had all along, anybody comes to see me, is why not? Because our veterans, our only people we serve, deserve nothing less than the standard for health care to be found at the VA, not looking at somewhere else and asking why. We are going to continue to make sure you are taken care of. Now, I can count some blessings and I can count some successes, and I will continue to do so. I will have to say, though, this does bring me back to my old Southern Baptist pastor days. I have the congregation and I have the choir. Please rise and get to turn to number 464 in your hymnal. We're going to sing now. You know, when we look at what we can do and I count those blessings, and how many days do we not do that? I think about so many times, my bride is here, my wife Lisa is here, and she's kept me going for 37 years and is with it. And I think about in our life how many times we don't count our blessings. And I have my staff who tell me, Doug, he said, we're glad, they came in secretary, they call me Doug, and they say, Doug, look, these are some good things, are we not celebrating? I said, we're not celebrating. I don't do a good job celebrating because there's always what's to come. What's next? We've made it here, can we make it further? So let's just for a moment pause for the first 6 months and talk about some good things. One of the things that we've done on the VHA side, our healthcare side, is just in the past couple of weeks, we took your referrals to community care and lengthened them in 30 more specialties from 6 months to 1 year so we can have better continuity of care and not have to keep going back and forth to get you what you need to get. Now, there's going to be more to that, and I'm getting to it, and for some of you already know that, well, if the doctor wants to do something else, I got to run back to the VA. Don't worry, I'm on it. We're going to make a system that where our VA healthcare is the world-class model that it is, but we're also going to be in partnership where you would want your healthcare in the community and make sure that if the VA is paying for it, then by gosh, it's going to be the best that you can get, and we're going to hold them accountable to it. Now, something else that we looked at with community care is we decided also, I was hearing from a lot of you, and I was in Congress when we passed choice. I was in Congress when we passed the Mission Act. I've been in Congress when Congress tries to do what Congress does, and I was there and we were doing everything, but we always in Congress sometimes tend to overemphasize things that we can measure, and I call it the big color crayon issue because in Congress, and some of you are laughing because I can talk about them because I was one, we like big color crayons and we like small paper. Can I get an amen from my Marines again? There we go. And so it's easy to measure stuff. So we wanted to measure wait times and how long was it getting done and these kind of things. You know what it is? If we offer and tell you that if you need community care service and you want a community doctor, then, you know, we looked at it and you said, you know what, we're still going to have those. That's what the law says. But we're also going to add best medical interest so that you and your doctor can decide what is best for you. And if that means staying in the VA, you get to stay at the VA. And if that means going to find a doctor, best medical interest overrides it and sends you to the doctor that you need to be at. That's just in. That's an easy way to look at this. You as the veteran deserve the choice, and we're going to give it to you. Now, at the same point, I'm also challenging all of our hospitals. I'll tell you a funny story. It's funny for me, it wasn't funny for them. About a month ago, we had a big meeting in Dallas. Now, the funny part was I had all of our hospital directors, all your VAMC directors, and all your vision leadership come in to Dallas, Texas, and we told them they were coming in to discuss, you know, what's going on, and they were getting their training and, you know, just different stuff that's going on. What we didn't tell them was that I was coming. And amazingly enough, and for those of you who've been around Washington long enough will get this next statement, it did not leak that I was coming. At the VA, we do not leak, we are an open sieve. And so we get there in Dallas, and they all come in, they get their meal, they do their Pledge of Allegiance, they do their national anthem, and then all of a sudden the voice of God behind the scenes says, and please welcome to the stage the 12th Secretary of Veterans Affairs. You could have heard a pin drop. And half of them got up, and half of them said, do I stand up, do I not get up, I don't know what to do. You know, I spent 2.5 hours explaining my heart to where I want to see them grow and where I want them to take care of you. And when they left with these messages. Number one, their senior leaders act like it. Don't keep putting off things that you can do then. I told them, everyone, in your own facilities, if you have issues, fix them now. For those of us who've been in the military, what level do you fix problems? At the highest or the lowest? Lowest level. And I had center directors thinking that they had to wait on the high from DC to do something. Fool, do your job. You're a senior leader. That was the first thing that I said to do. If it gets to my desk, it better have billion-dollar implications and better be worth my time. And I don't mean that arrogantly. I mean it honestly. We've got to get back to management system within the VA. And so for 2.5 hours, I reminded them of one thing. Number one, motion causes friction and change is never easy. And that's true. And over the past few months, we've had a lot of change. Now, some of those changes have been understood, some have not been misunderstood, but I'm not going to stand before you and tell you that what we're doing is something I wouldn't do over. Because we've had, as I shared in Washington, D.C. 6 months ago, we've had one pattern that we've looked at, and that was Washington telling you, the veterans, excuse me, Washington telling you, the veterans, what is best for you. We've had a lot of, we're going to put more money and more people, and then really if it makes it better or it doesn't make it better, it's okay, because the next year we'll just put something or more money and more people at it. What we found is that wasn't working because your wait times were going up, your backlogs were getting deeper, and we wasn't moving. So yes, we did have a look, as the president asked us to change the structure and the force of the VA. But I'm here to tell you also that RIF is now over. We're not doing any more of our reduction in force. In fact, we were able to accomplish it, although contrary to popular opinion and what people talk about me in the media, we fired no one to get there. This was done through voluntary early retirement or separation for those who wanted to go somewhere else and through attrition. And we did so while still protecting 350,000 plus positions in our hospitals and our VA disability benefits and also in our NCA to make sure that if they're working with our veterans, that those continuity of care is there. Do you want to know what's happened in those last few months as I've been getting the reports? The wait times across the VA and our hospitals has went down in most areas. Our mental health has dropped almost 22 days for referrals during this same time. And also, here's you a good one for many of you who've dealt with this for years. The disability backlog claim was at 260,000 when I spoke to you in February. I'm here to tell you that it's just above 160,000 today, less than 6 months later of 125 days. We're doing what we said we would do. I come to this place saying, I am on your side. I come to this place saying, I want the same values as all of our VSOs, and especially DAV has wanted, and that is to get honest assessment of your disability claims, this honest assessment of your health care, and making sure that you can do it yourself. I have a goal that in my heart, there should be no veteran, and I mean this, and this may make you uncomfortable, so I'm glad you're all sitting. This may make you uncomfortable, but I think it should be true. There should not be a veteran who has served this country, who has earned the benefits of the VA, that has to go to anybody, anywhere to get the veteran services that they've earned. It should be simple enough and easy enough that they can put it together and get what you have already earned. We've got to make it simpler to earn and do the benefits that you have. I'm tired of putting out forms that we don't need. I don't need your military history. Just tell me your name, your social security number, and your DD 214. Guess what? I can find your military history. I don't need for you to continue to fill out forms over and over. And by the way, we're looking at your health claims. Why do I have to go back and look at claims and then say, well, we didn't get this piece of paper in, but it clearly says in the medical record that your benefit should have been awarded? You know what? We're going to start looking at it now, and we're going to go straight to the medical record instead of doing a lot of things. And we're doing it by our electronic, we're doing it by AI, we're doing it by people looking at it and saying, how can we make this better? I only have one goal and one desire, is to make our veterans' life easier for the benefits that you've already earned, and I hope you can get along and help me with do that. Why do we make it hard? Because in our society today, we like control. From my desk, I only have one control, and that's the veteran. I only have one thought, is does it make our veterans' lives easier? Because now for the next few minutes, and I can talk about the things we've done, but frankly, you can read that. I'll send you a paper. I'm going to spend the next few minutes sort of outlining, Daniel, what you and others have wanted for this organization, but also I want for all those who served with me. I want a rebirth in how we look at the veteran population in our country. I'm tired of the veteran population in our country feel like that they have to go and beg or borrow and get what they've already earned. I'm tired of a veteran population, and many times out there in public when they come up and they tell us, thank you for your service, because they don't know what else to say. I'd rather them say, thank you for keeping us free. Thank you for raising your right hand. Thank you for doing what we would not do. We are thankful that you went and did it. I'm ready for veterans to stand up and be proud of what they have done. No longer do I want to see veterans be portrayed as a victim or be portrayed as somebody who can't do it. You are powerful. You are strong. Your disability does not define you. You define you, and you have a secretary who believes in you. I need your help. I don't want anybody looking down on us. I don't want anybody to take our families and our friends, our caregivers in this room and feeling sorry for us. No, we have the greatest country in the world. We raised our right hand. Our families, in essence, raised their right hand. And this is the VA that says the VA is no longer about a group of 450,000 people. It is 450,000 people committed to one thing and one thing only, to taking care of the greatest people in this world. And you represent them. So I'll take the heat. I'll take the comments. If you really want to know cute ones, go read my comments on all my social media. My wife still loves me, and my Shih Tzu thinks I'm a pretty good dog dad, so I'm okay. But I will never let, and for some of you who've noticed this, I will never let Congress, the media, or anyone else lie about the VA or in any way do anything to our veterans without having to answer to me first. I'm tired of the day that the VA is the whipping post. I'm tired of the day that we're just going to blame it all and say, oh, the VA did this, we'll fix it. No, I'm ready for leaders and elected leadership to stand up and help us do what we need to do, and that is to take care of veterans and quit blaming other things and get together and say what is best for the veteran, and that is our only standard. So yes, I'm going to fight for you. We'll agree and we'll disagree. But ain't that what a family's for? I have one brother. Sometimes he wishes he was an only child, but that's okay. I'm the oldest. They were so happy with me, they had him, so that's what I tell him. But you know, David and I don't always get along. You don't always get along. In your units, when you were back in service, you didn't always get along, but you know what? If somebody picks on David, they picked on me. And we as a group together have to start encouraging each other. And our organizations come together. You have my commitment that my heart is right, my intentions are good, and that I will do anything we can under the statute, and where statute needs to be changed, I will try to fix it. But you're going to see more and more things at the VA change. You're going to see more and more things of policy and regulation that when they come to me and they say, this is what we're doing, I tell them why. And if they can't answer me why, they better look to start understanding that we're going to change some stuff. Because if we're doing it just for our own sake, then those days are over. Because when I look at this as 4 years under President Trump, who gave me the ability to do this, who wants an economy for everybody, who wants to rise all ships. But when he told me, he said one thing, he said, Doug, go take care of my veterans. I took it very seriously. That's my one standing order. Take care of veterans. And so I'm not wed to a system that I grew up in. I'm not wed to an organization that I deeply love, and there's not a VA employee that I will not defend when they're doing their job right. There's also not a VA employee that I will not hold accountable when they're not doing their job right. Because it's not about us. It's not about a jobs program. It's about a service organization that says our one and only mission is you. So you're the grassroots. You have leadership that's amazing, but I need you to go back into your communities, and I need you to help me. I need you to find other veterans who may have been left aside. Other veterans who don't have the community and family that you have here at this convention. Because we're still losing too many of our sons and daughters every day to those who see no light at the end of the tunnel, who have decided that no longer what they served and what they committed to serve is enough for them. They feel alone, they feel desperate, and they are taking their own lives in numbers that are untenable and not sustainable, in my opinion. I'm right now doing a complete rewrite of our suicide prevention program. I'm doing a complete rewrite in how we're spending money. And we're going to everywhere we can, every nook, every cranny, every dark alley, to find every veteran we possibly can and say, please understand that your service is valuable and that we're not going to let over 60% of the people who are taking their life by suicide have never been touched with the VA. I will not sleep until that number changes, but I need your help. I need you to reach out to your battle buddy. I need you to reach out to your wingman. I need you to make sure that you're contacting those around you. Because without your help, don't complain about what's happening if you're not helping. Don't complain about the number if you haven't reached out to somebody who needs a cup of coffee or just a phone call or maybe a text. I commit to you right here on this stage that my job will always be to look forward. I will look forward to how we can help our veterans. I will look forward to how we can make the VA the most efficient organization that it possibly can be and be the standard, as Randy and I were talking about backstage, be the standard of healthcare in this country. And our benefits will be one in which you are helped and not always as I heard when I first came in, what do you get at VBA? No. Guess what? I don't deal with no if we can get to yes. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that happens. And for our cemeteries, we're going to make sure that dignity still prevails and that your families are there and they're taken care of. So for me, thank you for listening. For me and my family and the family at the VA, we only have one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to serve you. That is to make sure our veterans get what they have earned. I tell this all the time, and you ought to see the press's face when I say this. I tell them I'm tired of hearing what veterans are given. I'm tired of hearing about what veterans have been given. I remind them every day, the veteran is not given anything. The veteran has earned every bit of it when they raise their right hand. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Secretary Collins. Thank you for your invitation to have DAV at the table and also for your continued passion to put veterans first. Now it's my pleasure to bring to the stage Coyle Render from the Ford Motor Company.
Coyle Render, Commercial Vehicle Growth Manager at Ford Motor Company, has been a part of the organization for nearly 11 years. Prior to that, he served for 6 years in the Marines, reaching the rank of sergeant.
Thank you, National Commander Contreras. It's truly an honor to be here today at the DAV National Convention. On behalf of Ford Motor Company, I want to extend my deepest gratitude for the opportunity to stand among the brave men and women who have served our nation with honor, courage, and unwavering dedication. My name is Coyle Render, and I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. And I currently work at Ford Pro, where I'm the Commercial Vehicle Growth Manager, and I also serve as the Community Pillar Lead of our Veterans Employee Resource Group. I've been fortunate to spend over 10 years at Ford and could not be more excited of the 100-plus year partnership that has been built between the DAV and Ford Motor Company. Our partnership with DAV is not just a corporate initiative, it's a commitment. I've been incredibly impressed by the work the DAV does day in, day out to help improve the lives of veterans and their families. From providing thousands of rides to medical appointments each year, to filing claims for benefits, and consistently advocating for the rights of our servicemen and women. Your work is so important. I'm here on behalf of Ford Philanthropy, the philanthropic arm of Ford Motor Company, and we cannot think of a better partner to collaborate with to evolve our friendship, a relationship around transportation access. The world is in the midst of transformation in the auto industry, including emerging technologies, electrification, and autonomy. But it's important to view these as opportunities. Opportunities for us to innovate and collaborate together to solidify the next 100-plus years of impact, service, and partnership. Ford believes in the freedom of movement for all, which is the same service that you bring to people in uniform. On behalf of more than 88,000 Ford employees in the U.S., I want to thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your continued support of our nation's heroes and their families. I also want to thank you the members of the DAV, for supporting Ford. We know that when military families buy new vehicles, they prefer Ford trucks, utilities, and cars over any other brand. Our partnership not only amplifies the service that you provide to our veterans, but provides savings to you as members. Our Ford X Partner Plan, Partner Recognition Program is just a small way we can say thank you for all that you do. Our 100+ year partnership is unique. The fact that this has been built on trust, collaboration, and service that started with Henry Ford and 50 Model Ts at the second DAV National Convention is truly special. Together, Ford and DAV have made an incredible impact in supporting veterans over the past century, and we look forward to leveraging collaboration, innovation, and mobility solutions as we chart the next 100 years. Ensuring veterans have access to transportation for medical care and other fundamental needs means so much to us. It embodies who we are as a company, the idea of freedom of movement, and provides so much for our service people. For more than a quarter century, Ford has supported the DAV transportation network, and we are proud to have donated a total of 274 vehicles across all 50 states and Puerto Rico. And today, I'm proud to announce that we are donating 5 new Ford Explorers for 5 VA medical centers across the country. Ford and Ford Philanthropy are proud to continue to support DAV. The transportation network continues to fill a substantial need, delivers a powerful impact on local communities, and proves to have great value. This year's Ford Explorer donation recipients are Northern Arizona VA Healthcare System, Prescott, Arizona. San Francisco VA Healthcare System in San Francisco, California. Charlie Norwood VA Medical Center in Augusta, Georgia. GV Sonny Montgomery VA Medical Center in Jackson, Mississippi. And the Eastern Colorado Healthcare System in Denver, Colorado. I'd like to ask National Commander Contreras and National Adjutant Jesenowski to please join me at the podium. On behalf of every Ford Motor Company employee, I'd like to present you with this ceremonial check, which represents the value of our donations and commitment to increasing transportation access. Again, I want to thank you personally for your bravery, your loyalty, and your service. We know our freedom depends on it. Please enjoy the rest of the convention. Thanks for having me.
DAV Scholarship teaches young men and women about the importance of service and recognize their efforts on behalf of disabled veterans. DAV is honored to provide an incentive to these young men and women. DAV scholarships encourage volunteerism and connect future leaders with veterans, building a lifelong bond to our cause and the heroes we represent. Now let's get to know one of these young leaders, this year's top recipient, DAV National Voluntary Services Director John Kleindienst. Please join me on stage.
I got started with volunteering because I wanted to give back to my community in a more meaningful way, and I've truly found that by helping veterans. I began volunteering at the VA the summer of 2022 after my freshman year of high school, and I've come back for the summer of 2023 and 2024. Over time, I've gotten to do more tasks. So surgery escort, which was wheeling just, the patients who either just had a same-day surgery or are disabled and just need to be wheeled around. We set up a library on one of the floors where veterans could hang out with each other, play games, things like that.
He has helped organize community homeless events. He's helped organize our student youth summer program, and he's also helped us organize wellness program to benefit our veterans. He's helped collect food items. He's helped collect toiletry items. You name it, he's done it. And he's always done it with a smile on his face.
Hearing about the loss of loved ones and those in war, losing the people you started boot camp with out on the battlefield, or coming home, disabled and having to deal with this service-connected injury the rest of your life. It's really made me more open and aware to the sacrifices made by those who served our nation. Volunteering with veterans and volunteering at the VA has made me want to go more into medicine and interacting directly with veterans and patients. So I'm heading off to the University of Pennsylvania to study biochemistry, most likely on the pre-med track. So that way I can come back, possibly work at the VA as a doctor myself. Initially, I thought I was helping the veterans, but I think the veterans have truly helped, gave me a deeper sense of purpose.
Nihar Kametha is a 2025 graduate of the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics and is entering his freshman year at the University of Pennsylvania to study biochemistry. Nihar has been recognized for his outstanding contributions to the Charlotte VA Healthcare System's Summer Youth Volunteer Program. In his more than 375 hours of volunteer service, he's educated veterans on technology usage, provided hygiene kits and comfort items to veterans experiencing homelessness, and created a Veterans Wellness Project.
Good morning, DAV members, honorable guests, and our outstanding veterans. I'm Nihar Kumetha from Concord, North Carolina, and I'm honored to be here with you today. It's truly humbling to be in the same room as all of you who have served and sacrificed so much for our great country. I'm extremely thankful for DAV for inviting me here and presenting me with this remarkable scholarship. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Ms. Kimberly Davis, a retired Air Force veteran and the Charlotte VA Center for Development and Civic Engagement Coordinator, for being such an incredible mentor who's fostered a supportive environment for volunteers at the VA, enabling us to give back to veterans even more. Round of applause for her, please. I'd also like to thank Mr. Leslie Eason, Mr. Franklin McCombs, and Mr. James Martin, who are part of the larger Salisbury CDCE team. I'm also grateful for my fellow volunteers and summer teen volunteers at the Charlotte VA, with special thanks to volunteer Mr. Roy Wilkins. He's an Army veteran and National Wheelchair Games athlete with whom I've had the great pleasure of working with. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents for all of their support. I'll always remember my first day at the volunteering at the VA during the summer after my freshman year of high school. My task was to escort veterans in wheelchairs and help them and wait with them until their rides arrived. While waiting, veterans would often share stories with me, stories of grandchildren, losing loved ones, life during war, traveling the world, and more. Initially, I thought I was helping veterans, but by the end of the summer, listening to the veteran stories helped me become more empathetic, resilient, and truly a better person. Inspired by the stories I listened to that summer, I've gone on back to the VA every summer after that, serving those who served us. I found fulfillment participating in and leading projects that benefit and engage veterans, including healthy living initiatives, mental health drives, a hygiene kit drive, technology lessons, and fun activities like trivia and art. I've even gone back and worked with my local county and state governments to try to advocate for veterans' mental health needs. I've also enjoyed mentoring my fellow teen volunteers and passing down the lessons I've learned while listening to veterans like you. I'm truly grateful to each one of you for continuing to inspire all of us. Thank you again, DAV, for the scholarship. In the fall, I'll be studying biochemistry at the University of Pennsylvania as a Vagelos Molecular Life Sciences scholar. I plan to continue volunteering and giving back to veterans at the Philadelphia VA near my university, possibly working with the DAV as well, and carrying forward the lessons of empathy, leadership, and service that have shaped my journey. I'm not certain where my journey will take me, but one thing I am certain about is that it will be my privilege to continue serving those who served us. Thank you again to this wonderful veteran community for your service, and God bless America.
Thank you. Yes, we have just what a great program our DAV scholarship program is, and it's just so enlightening to see how it impacts someone and it drives them to support veterans and learn more about the sacrifices our veterans make. DAV and Auxiliary's shared mission of ensuring promises are kept to America's heroes and their families relies on the compassion and generosity of thousands who volunteer their time to honor the sacrifices that make our freedoms and way of life possible. Whether in hospitals, on the road as volunteer drivers, or in countless communities across this beautiful nation, their compassion for our veterans and their continued efforts to keep our promise to those who served is what defines us as an organization. Today, we honor two individuals who have made service to those who served their life's calling. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to announce the 2025 DA Volunteer of the Year, Van Karg of Hutchinson, Minnesota.
Over the past 30 years, Van Karg has logged more than 15,000 lifetime hours helping veterans in need. As a DAV Transportation Network volunteer, he often drives more than 30,000 miles a year to ensure veterans access to health care. He also delivers medical equipment like wheelchairs and medical beds to veterans throughout the land of lakes. Mr. Karg is the adjutant of DAV Chapter 27 and has organized veterans benefits seminars to extend DAV services to veterans and families in his community.
First of all, I'd like all of our delegation from the Minnesota, please stand up and be recognized. All the Minnesota. I have to say thank you to the entire delegation because in some way they have touched my hearts. They are all responsible for a lot of the volunteering that I do, because we have our own transportation system, we have medical equipment. I pick up and deliver medical equipment, whether it's hospital beds, lift chairs, whatever. I'm on the road 5 days a week for sure, and sometimes 7. When people need transportation, everyone has my number. So whether it's after hours at night or weekends or whatever, I go take care of them. And everybody asks me, Van, why do you keep doing what you're doing, and when are you going to slow down? My answer is this. When I was coming home from Vietnam, it was my birthday, August 9th. I had a talk with I didn't know who at the time, but it was God. God said, Van, I pulled you out of a lot of sticky situations over here in Vietnam. He said, when you get home, I want you to take care of the veterans and their families. And I'm still doing that. I haven't fulfilled that promise. Thank you. I want to thank Stephen Whitehead for turning in my application for this. He did a great job with it. All the members from the national have done a great job, and I want to thank anyone that had anything to do with this. Thank you very much.
It's now my pleasure to introduce this year's DAV Auxiliary Volunteer of the Year, Hattie Lambert of DeWitt, Virginia.
Hattie Lambert is a member of Auxiliary Unit 47 in Petersburg, Virginia, and has accumulated nearly 18,000 volunteer hours helping veterans at the Richmond VA Medical Center. The staff of the medical center looks to her as an instrumental part of their team. 40 hours a week, you can find her there, pushing wheelchairs, answering questions, planning events, and assisting the staff with their needs. Additionally, Ms. Lambert encourages and recruits other members of auxiliary units to give their time.
Good morning, commanders and everyone. I'm not a spouse. I served 32 years, 2 months, and 2 days in the Army. And I just turned 81 2 weeks ago. I'm at the VA 8 hours, 5 days a week. When I don't show up, they call, check on me. I've had 2 calls since I've been here so far. So I'd like to thank everyone that had a hand in giving me this award. It's a great honor. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Many of you here are familiar with our longtime friend of DAV, Golden Corral. Since 9/11, veterans have been blessed with many companies who offer special gifts or discounts around Veterans Day. We're grateful to be in partnership with the first company to offer a free thank you meal to veterans nationwide. Through Golden Corral's annual Military Appreciation Night, which will be held on Veterans Day this year, the company has made a significant impact on DAV's chapters and departments. As most of you in this room know, every Golden Corral located graciously allows DAV to collect donations in a 2-week period leading up to Veterans Day. This opportunity is unlike any other for DAV members. Since 2001, Military Appreciation Night has raised more than $20.5 million to support state and local service programs. Also, in that time frame, Golden Corral has served nearly 6.7 million free meals to current U.S. service members, military retirees, and veterans. Not only that, DAV has also had the honor of joining our friends at Golden Corral in supporting Camp Corral since it was founded in 2011. Here's a look at this special program that extends an important service to families in our community.
One of the problems that's facing children in America today is anxiety and depression. And if you take that to the level of military kids, it's even more extreme.
As a kid with parents in the military, I think it can just be very stressful that you're moving and changing, the work requirements, deployment. It's a lot of time that parents are outside the home and the kids are oftentimes growing up faster than you would like them to.
The mission of Camp Corral is to serve military families, and in particular, children who have a parent or guardian who is wounded, ill, or fallen. And our goal is to use camp in order to be able to help transform their lives. The 4 pillars of Camp Corral start with the child, and the first thing that we do is focus on connections and are you making friends? Self-confidence, are you trying things you haven't tried before and feel good at it? Coping skills, are you developing relationships that you can talk about things and that you can find time for yourself and maybe some quiet reflection when you need? And the last, researchers call respite, we just call fun. Did you have some fun while you were at camp?
The biggest focus is those friendships and relationships, and when that happens, that's when kids feel comfortable and confident. And I think Corral provides such an opportunity for that.
It is a life-changing experience for me. It definitely helped me grow and change to who I am today, and it has helped form a lot of great friendships. The motto we have is be your best self at camp, and I think I am my best self at camp.
As a military kid, you have a lot of different feelings you're going through. And so Camp Corral gives us a chance to have fun, but also bring in support to help us understand the emotions of having a parent that's paralyzed. So I feel like that's kind of the fun of it, is have your worries kind of taken away.
The kids here at Camp Corral, they have honestly the best time of their life. There's horses, there's archery, there's water activities. We weld friendship bracelets together, we do team building activities. We get to do water activities, swim together, do everything together. It's really special.
There isn't another location or camp experience like this where you can have great top quality camp at no cost to the service members. But kids have the same background and the same experience in order to be able to share that. That gets out of the way. Now we can just go on and have fun at camp. The future of Camp Corral is so exciting because we know that the program works, we know that it makes a difference for kids, and we know that there's lots of opportunity for growth. We are currently in 20 camps across the country, and we serve more than 3,000 kids per year. But we know from the data of where veteran families are that have children that are appropriate for Camp Corral, we can easily expand to 34 states, almost doubling our footprint. That kind of growth means that we can reach nearly 4,000, 5,000. The more kids that we can make happy, the more kids that we can provide relief, the better off we are.
This summer, with DAV's support, Camp Corral will once again provide thousands of children with one-of-a-kind experience that recognizes the unique needs of kids who share their sacrifices their parents have made for our nation. To aid in this mission, DAV established the Just Be Kids program to provide scholarships for more children to attend Camp Corral. So far this year, DAV departments and chapters, along with the Auxiliary and DAV Charitable Service Trust, have raised significant funds to get kids to these camps. In recognition of their efforts, I'm happy to present a check totaling $1,387,000 to Camp Corral. To note, this gift includes a special contribution of $187,000 from the DAV Department of New York to support the Just Be Kids Scholarship Program. Please welcome to the stage Camp Corral's Phil Kowalczyk, Auxiliary National Commander Chris Easley, Charitable Service Trust President Mark Burgess, and DAV Department of New York Commander Judy Russell.
Phil Kowalczyk, CEO of Camp Corral since 2022, brings 25-plus years of leadership in global business and nonprofits. Through his passion for supporting military families, he's doubled camp attendance. He's also a mentor for DAV Patriot Boot Camp, supporting veterans and spouse founders while encouraging growth, learning, and community impact.
Thank you, National Commander Contreras, to the DAV, to the DAV Auxiliary, all the DAV departments, and the chapters. This is a record level of support. It makes my heart swell, leaves me a little speechless, which for those who know me, that's rare. It's an astounding number. But what's really important is what that money does. And so I thought the thing to do was to really start with a letter from one of the moms, a Camp Corral mom with 2 twins, longtime campers at our just mentioned New York camp. And here's what she writes. Dear Camp Corral family, I'm writing with the hope that these words find their way to the hearts of the people who make Camp Corral what it is. The ones who work behind the scenes, who raise the funds, who support the mission, and believe, truly believe, in the power of giving military children a place to be seen, to be safe, to be celebrated. Camp Corral, you gave my children a gift I could never have given on my own. You gave them freedom. Not just the kind of freedom that comes from splashing in lakes, though you gave them that too, but the freedom that comes from the invisible weight that they carry as children of a Purple Heart veteran. For one sacred week each summer, you gave them a break from being resilient, from being strong, from carrying more than any child should. You gave them a place where they didn't have to explain, a place where they weren't defined by their story, but supported because of it. You gave them a chance to simply be kids, wild, messy, silly, fearless kids. That's the kind of priceless gift I'll never be able to repay. You may never meet my children, but I promise you what you've done for them will live in them forever. With love and endless gratitude, Aubrey Lee Minkler. You did that. At Camp Corral, our mission is to help transform the lives of children of wounded, ill, and fallen military heroes through camp advocacy and enrichment programs. That transformation word is so important because it's real. Transformation can come from the 12-year-old girl who hardly talks at home, but at camp she talks all the time and can't believe the number of friends that she has at camp. And transformation can get real heavy real fast, like the young man who told his story in confidence. He literally is alive today because of Camp Corral. As a child, he was considering suicide, but his first experience of a camp in a week with other kids from other military families helped him see he was not alone and that he can make a difference. Now he's a camp counselor, making a difference for other children. Yep. Transformation comes in many variations. And we love what we do. We're grateful to be able to serve, and we could not do this without you. On behalf of the military children we serve through summer camp across this country, thank you. The lives of these children are changed because of your hard work and generosity. We're grateful for your support, and importantly, for more than 14 years of DAV partnership with Golden Corral. Golden Corral Corporation is such a powerful supporter of veterans, and they love DAV. They provide support not only through their fall campaign and the Military Appreciation Night, but through the powerful collaboration where DAV and Golden Corral owners and managers come together to raise funds to support our program to send children of veteran families to amazing camp experiences. It's that partnership of Golden Corral and DAV that supercharges what we do. Now, I know there are literally thousands of you to thank, and I'd hug absolutely every single one of you. But I would like to give a shout out this year to Fred James, a retired Army veteran, and his wife, Brenda. I've learned a bit about what the chapter does in Ohio, and their fundraising efforts include bike and basket raffles and a lot of other efforts in partnership with Renee Sears at the Golden Corral store. This is a photo of Fred presenting Renee this award, and it's just one example of the many partnerships your chapters build in supporting Camp Corral. The funds you raise mean that a child gets to attend a high-quality camp, to make friends, to build skills, to learn about independence, and frankly, just be a kid. There's no cost to these families because you're raising the funds for those families, and that, while deserving, likely couldn't afford this life-changing experience. This year, we have more than 2,800 children from nearly 50 states attending summer camp. Absolutely. And since our founding in 2011, Camp Corral has sponsored more than 35,000 children, and DAV's support alone has provided experience for more than 7,500 of them. That's amazing. And we know the program is having the intended impact because we ask the kids. We ask the counselors and their parents, and we conduct academically accredited research in a few specific areas. One is the connection is vital. You know, when we ask veteran parents if their children have friends who understand what it's like to be part of a military family, 78% of the parents answered no. But when they come to Camp Corral, they're surrounded by kids who get it, who've lived it, and who share in it. That's why 89% of our kids say they made friends at camp, and they think those will be long-lasting relationships. Look, all of that's important. It's how you should hold us accountable. It's why I come and report back every year how we're using the money that you raise and ensure it's being invested well. But to be perfectly honest, I think we're most struck by the comments from the campers on the importance of Camp Corral being their place. Quotes like, "I feel seen. Back home, I'm the only military kid in town. But everyone here at camp understands what it's like to lose a parent, mentally or physically. Everyone here knows what it's like to move around a lot." Or the child who wrote that, "I feel like I belong at Camp Corral. It's my home away from home. I can talk to the counselor or staff about anything. And I learn things about myself every year." Your effort helps ensure these children have a place to belong year after year. We're continuing to grow and expand. Our summer camp program will grow from its current 20 camp locations because we're going to be adding 2 more camps. One near Houston, Texas. Yeah, Texas. And one in Pennsylvania. And in addition to the summer camp, we offer the spring and fall family camps, where kids of all ages and their families can create the experience of the magic of camp and create memories together. This year, we'll serve more than 100 families at our family camps, and we're hoping to add an additional camp in South Carolina, bringing our total to 7 family camps. Go, South Carolina, I hear it out there. We're growing, and your commitment has grown with us, and we cannot thank you enough. In addition to growing the number of camps, we're also growing our impact over the lifetime of a camper, and that's something you've asked us to do. Last year, many of you heard directly from Cord Cooksey, a longtime Camp Corral camper, who shared his story with you. Many of you spent time with him at our table in the convention area. He is among our first graduates from Camp Corral's Salute Leadership Program. When we asked him originally why he wanted to participate in the program, he said, "I'd like to help campers learn self-confidence. I hope to be a teacher after college and want the skills to help teach with compassion in helping others." Now, we recently caught up with Cord, and we asked him to provide you all a little bit of an update on his progress, and here's what he shared. "Thank you so much, Camp Corral, for those camp experience and those memories that will live with me forever, just like the opportunity to speak to the DAV conference in Phoenix. Since I last saw you in Phoenix, I completed my 2nd season as a drum major, and our team placed first in our state competition. I've graduated from Greenbrier High School in May and decided to attend the Georgia Military College, where I'll be studying business administration. Don't worry, I still have the goal of becoming a band director or a history teacher, but first, I'd like to work in the music industry and take those skills to the classroom where I can spread my knowledge and enthusiasm to my students." Cord is just one of thousands of children you have helped create memories and experiences through the opportunity of Camp Corral. But our work isn't done, because the number of children eligible for Camp Corral programs is well over 3 million. Our wait list this year alone, over 400. So there's clearly more work to be done. And we know that an investment in children is an investment in our future. As I close, I wanted to share one thing with you that really struck me. It's a quote that I saw from a publication in October of 1950, and yet I think it resonates even more today. And the quote is this: 100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was, the sort of house I lived in, or the kind of car I drove. But the world may be different because I was important in the life of a child. Thank you, DAV. Just remember in your heart that you are important in the life of many children from military families across this country. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the great work that we're doing for Golden Corral and what they do for our children. It's now my privilege and great honor to welcome a leader who continues to shape the future of our organization, National Adjutant and CEO Barry Jesenowski. Barry began his DAV journey 3 decades ago. He's used the past year to showcase his steady, forward-looking leadership and deep commitment to DAV's mission. His guidance has reinforced what many of us already knew when he was chosen to take the helm, that DAV's future is in capable, visionary hands. Back in the 20th century, something the kids are now saying to make us Gen Xers feel old, Barry started on the front lines as a National Service Officer, working directly with veterans and their families to secure the benefits they earned. He went on to lead in our most critical positions, including serving as Executive Director of Washington Headquarters and then National Headquarters, the first veteran to do so. In every role, Barry has answered the call. He meets challenges head on and turns them into opportunities for progress. He builds on the strength of what came before and applies relentless energy to making it better for our members, our staff, and our nation's veterans. From the start of his leadership as National Adjutant 2 short years ago, he's demonstrated real results and continued momentum. And if the past year isn't any indication of what's ahead, then our best days are yet to come. If you need evidence of that, just listen to the report this Marine is about to deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, your National Adjutant, our National Adjutant, Barry Jesenowski.
Good morning. Thank you, Commander. Thank you all for your service to our fellow veterans and for all you do to bring our mission to life in your communities. You know, I have a say in the speaker lineup here, so why I continue to subject myself to following Phil, I'm not sure. But to make things a little easier and to kick things off, I'll play a short video looking back on the accomplishments over our last year before I give the rest of my remarks. We had a common experience which bound us together, and we ought to continue through an organization of our own. An organization of us, by us, and for us. Those powerful words are from our founder, Judge Robert S. Marks. More than a century later, they continue to be the heartbeat that drives DAV. Every day when I pass by these words, I'm reminded of the courage and sacrifice of our nation's veterans. I think about their victories, both big and small.
And I celebrate the contributions from each and every one of you in those victories. Bound by common service and a continued sense of duty, you ensure no veteran or their family has to go it alone. And as our National Commander Daniel Contreras said when he was elected last August, together, we are DAV.
We need, as DAV has done for more than 100 years, to make extending our services and engaging veterans and family members part of our daily lives. And together, we can make a difference that echoes for generations to come.
His words echoed the efforts and accomplishments of our members this past year. People like 2024 Disabled American Veteran of the Year, Terry Hillard. A member of Chapter 42, he helped start a club to connect veterans in the Chicago police and fire departments to their earned VA benefits.
I know we got young cops and young firemen out there who really believe, that they deserve something, but they're afraid. And that's what we're in this for.
This initiative is growing, going beyond the city into its suburbs, north to Milwaukee, and soon into St. Louis and Philadelphia. None of this would be possible without our benefits advocates. DAV's National and Transition Service Officers are the backbone of our organization. Their work with veterans and partnership with our members, along with our department and chapter service officers, elevates what we can accomplish together. We see this spirit of togetherness in Ken David from Chapter 11 in Ohio. Earlier this year, he received the Medal of Honor for his actions in Vietnam. His fellow veterans, who worked countless hours over nearly 2 decades to get him this recognition, are the people he thinks about first.
I want them to enjoy the moment with me, because it's not about me, it's about all the people around me.
Ken's instinct kicked in on that hill that day, and that's still his instinct today, to help others through the work that he does with DAV.
That helping hand of DAV members has a broad reach.
Devastating wildfires in Southern California.
We begin tonight with the spiraling emergency after Hurricane Helene.
Devastating and deadly flooding that hit the Kerrville area.
Responding when disaster strikes. From the fires in California, to flooding in the South, to personal tragedies, you were there in a veteran's moment of need.
A lot of homes were damaged. Some people were displaced from their homes. So we're just trying to help out financially as much as we can. Also provide some hygiene kits and blankets for them as well. You definitely want to try and help out these families as soon as possible.
My family said.
This past year, our volunteers drove our DAV transportation network vehicles millions of miles, helping veterans get to their critical VA medical appointment.
You're just back in with veterans and prior service members, and you just feel like a family again.
We saw hundreds of you support our second annual DAV Community Impact Day.
I was wounded in Vietnam, and I guess I always think the good Lord let Sergeant Murphy live. And I guess I thought he would allow me to come back to the world and give back.
You showed that thank you for your service is more than words, it's action.
This is just one little way of giving back to them. Let them know they're not forgotten, and that they're appreciated.
And thousands of participants raised critical funds for our programs and services at our annual DAV 5K live and virtual events.
It makes me feel supported. It makes me feel more American. Honestly, it's much appreciated.
We continued to partner with the VA to co-present the National Disabled Veterans Winter Sports Clinic in April and the National Disabled Veterans Golf Clinic in September. We grew DAV caregiver support, connecting more caregivers to resources and programs local to them.
It's nice to have somebody that's like, you are a caregiver. We do have your back. You know, this can help you. And even if you don't have that excess time, we'll figure out how to make that time for you. So it's been great.
We connected veterans with meaningful employment by empowering them with the resources and support needed to thrive in the civilian workforce.
It was a pleasure because as a vet, and as a, some are still in the military, they understood us.
And we hosted several cohorts of DAV Patriot Boot Camp, providing veteran and spouse entrepreneurs with mentors, tools, and resources to grow their companies.
The support and encouragement has been spectacular. Anyone who bombed on something, it still was met with claps, and this is how you could do it better, and everyone was just building everyone up for the last week. It's been great.
We were able to support organizations like the Boulder Crest Foundation. Your generosity allowed us to invest in their programming and continued work in post-traumatic healing.
Members of the military, veteran, and first responder communities will come here, men and women separately, who are struggling, and they will get the opportunity to go through a transformative experience, to learn not just about what post-traumatic growth is here, but here, and to transform their struggle into strength and growth in the great lives that they were born to live.
This past year, we recognized many anniversaries. 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War era. 20 years since the Battle of Fallujah in Iraq. 10 years since we dedicated the American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial.
Pray the gods help this broken man recover, but stand ready to leave.
These commemorations bringing stories of service and sacrifice to new generations, reminding us of who we fight for and serve every single day. You are the linchpin in that important work. We find ourselves in a once-in-a-generation battle, but you haven't backed down. Last year, you made DAV's voice ring loud through the halls of our government, both locally and nationally. You echoed the message Commander Contreras gave during his congressional testimony at our midwinter conference.
In this Gilded Era, we must ensure that veterans' benefits are reinforced, not clawed back. The Department of Veterans Affairs needs to be fully funded and have predictable budgets. Veterans' health care should be enhanced and streamlined, all while ensuring VA provides the right options to meet their evolving needs.
We backed up the commander's statements by laying out our funding recommendations for the VA's 2026-2027 fiscal year in our independent budget. As we've done for nearly 40 years with our VSO partners, we provide concrete details of what a fully funded, mission-capable VA looks like. You helped us build on this message and all of our advocacy work through the DAV Commanders Action Network. This grassroots effort remains vital as we fight for the interests of all ill and injured veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors. I hope you're as proud as I am of all the accomplishments you helped DAV achieve this past year. But here's what impresses me more than anything. You never lost sight of what's most important. That person to your left and to your right. You kept your fellow veterans at the heart of every action you took. You embodied what Judge Marks meant when he said, "Of us, by us, and for us." As we head into this new year, may we do so as an organization rooted in the principle of service and taking care of our own. We are a community, and you are not alone. I hope that look back brings all of you great satisfaction for your role in our cause that transforms the lives of so many veterans, their families, their caregivers, and their survivors. Today, I want to get back to some basics and discuss the promise our nation has made to those who have defended her. This year, as we mark the 250th anniversary of the birth of our beloved Marine Corps, For perspective, we can look to one of the most decorated veterans in history, who happened to be my drill instructor's favorite Marine of all time. Major General Smedley Butler served for 33 years. He lied to enlist at 16 years old to fight in the Spanish-American War. Then came the Boxer Rebellion in China, counterinsurgency operations in the Philippines, and a handful of banana wars before he finally made it overseas for World War I. Service took an enormous toll on his body and his mind. He suffered a moral injury so great that he asked to turn down the first of the 2 medals of honor that he was awarded. But he was ordered to accept it. I'm probably not the only service officer in this room who works an internal benefits calculator when I hear an individual's military history or see a portrayal on TV or in films. It can ruin your train of thought. Or as my wife sometimes says, it can ruin the movie. I can be a real pain in muscle group 17. For those of you who are unaware, that's the lower backside muscle. Where are our service officers out there? Raise your hand, please. I know you guys do that. You can't help it because it's in your blood. Even though we're never supposed to say this to a client, advocating for Smedley Butler would have been a slam dunk case. I can imagine myself going through his records with him. Are you the same Smedley from the running cadence? I knew it. It says here your nickname was Old Gimlet Eye. Can I call you? Never mind. No problem, sir. I'll just stick with General. Let's see. Bullet to the leg. By the way, I'm looking at an old school claims file here, not a computer. Bullet to the leg, dysentery, bullet to the thigh, another gunshot wound, this one to the chest, malaria, 9 months down with a severe bout of influenza. Sir, are you getting any help for any of this? Come on, I'm not the only one that does it, right, service officers? It does not leave your conscience. I'll share my combined ratings on John Rambo and Forrest Gump some other time. Smedley Butler was one of the most famous veterans of his day. He was featured in comic books and sought out as a speaker. He was one of us, and then some. During the march of the Bonus Army, he joined his fellow veterans and spoke out in their support. Other generals who would become household names in World War II were responsible for forcibly evicting our demonstrators. When it came to his military career, he famously said, "War is a racket. It always has been. It is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious racket. It's the only one international in scope, and it's the only one which profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. A racket is best described, I believe," he said, "as something that is not what it seems to the majority of the people. Only a small inside group knows what it's all about. It's conducted for the benefit of the very few, at the expense of the very many. Out of war, a few people make huge fortunes," he said. He went on to very candidly talk about how his service in Mexico advanced American oil interests, how operations in Haiti and Cuba helped National City Bank, and how other battles that he fought to benefit financial interests that seemed beyond the scope of national defense to him. He concluded, "Looking back on it, I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best he could do in his racket was to operate in 3 districts. I operated on 3 continents." It's very sobering to hear a veteran describe his service with such bitter candor. But Smedley Butler earned the right to his cynicism. We may not agree that war is a racket, or not always a racket, But the cost of war has always been borne by a relative few, by all of you. In the last half century, our defense has been provided by an all-volunteer military. Civilians are asked to sacrifice less and less, and as we look ahead to the 25th anniversary of 9/11, for most Americans, not all, the greatest change in daily life has been TSA screenings. In fact, after the Trade Center was hit, Americans were encouraged to go to Disney World and to enjoy themselves, to show the terrorists they could not disrupt American life. For most people in this room, the wake of wartime service is something that is relived on varying levels every single day. To the majority who elect the few, who determine when and where we are called to fight, that decision and its consequences are more remote than at any time in world history. That is not a knock on everyday Americans who have shown tremendous support and dedication even when they don't have direct ties to the military. But the fact is that we as a nation have asked a great deal out of our veterans. We've sent them into combat, and we've demanded they be capable of inflicting incredible lethality in unimaginable situations. We're able to find people willing to answer the call, not because they are promised profit, but because we have a very basic deal. It's based on the most sacred obligation our government has to those who serve in a time of war. We are called to appeal to the nation's conscience and make our brothers and sisters who are changed in service whole. DAV exists to make sure this promise is kept. It's the reason why our preeminent service is benefits advocacy service officers. All of our service officers are on the front lines every day fighting for our fellow veterans. The work we do day in and day out shapes our advocacy on Capitol Hill and delivers life-changing outcomes. It's also the reason for our structure. Of course, our chapters and our state departments are in communities nationwide to provide services and to fill gaps so our brothers and our sisters do not fall through the cracks. But they also provide DAV with a direct line into veterans' experiences and into the challenges that they face. As do our volunteers, who cast an even wider net to deliver veterans the care they've earned and augment services in and outside of VA facilities. We help more than 1 million veterans every year in substantive and lasting ways. That's a soundbite you hear quite a bit. But I want you to think about it. We help over 1 million veterans in many ways every single year. Our Caregivers program gives new life to America's unsung heroes. It restores dignity and strengthens families while informing public policy and preventing burnout. It also saves taxpayer dollars by helping veterans stay in their homes longer. Not that taxpayer dollars are what's most important when it comes to staying in our homes longer as veterans. By connecting veterans with careers, we see firsthand the successes and the shortcomings of our federal readiness and employment programs. Our efforts to empower disabled veterans help them overcome barriers, achieve their potential, and create jobs, good jobs. They also show us how federal programs affect veteran entrepreneurs and the hurdles they face in government contracting. After all, if someone is going to become a millionaire or even a billionaire by doing business with the federal government, it might as well be someone who sacrificed for our country. I think even old Gimlet Eye would agree with that. Our expanding partnerships with institutions like Save a Warrior and Boulder Crest, are transforming veterans in their most desperate moments. They also inform our push for emerging care and treatments that replace hopelessness with renewal. And they connect us with others who further our cause and equip us to find better solutions. If we look back on the near quarter century since our nation was attacked, DAV has been incredibly successful advancing policies that have expanded benefits and services to millions of veterans. That is the beauty of being involved in DAV. It is the clarity of our purpose. Our stance on any issue transcends partisanship. It's determined by you, the leaders in this room, and the veterans and the families back home who donate your time and talents to ensure our brothers and sisters get what they earned. In an increasingly polarized Washington, DAV stands as a national institution that always puts veterans, our families and caregivers, and our survivors first. Ours is a powerful voice in the nation's capital that comes from communities across America. We stand resolved to remind our fellow citizens of the promise we've made to those willing to give their lives for our country. We're constantly looking for new ideas to strengthen care and policy, and we need to be efficient and responsive to evolving needs. But too often of late, we hear opinions driven by interests that did not put veterans first. And with a century of experience, we know the challenges of advancing or even holding ground on care, benefits, and services once the parades are over. For 25 years, landmark legislation like advanced appropriations, the PACT Act, the Elizabeth Dole Act, Blue Water Navy benefits, the Deborah Sampson Act, and community care have all been shaped and enacted because of DAV's focus and perseverance. As access to care has expanded, so has the cost. But we must thoughtfully remind our fellow citizens and leaders, our elected leaders, why. The 4.5 million Americans called to serve since just 2001 have faced a near continuous combat tempo, fatigue, and toxic exposures. They do so with their head held high. We fought 2 long wars, plus countless lesser-known global war on terror missions. Expanded care for 3.4 million aging Vietnam veterans also represents long overdue justice. Many underserved women veterans are just now getting access to the benefits they earned after years of feeling invisible. Not that we're there yet. Of course, this era hasn't been without shameful chapters. Vermin-infested housing at Walter Reed, the Phoenix waitlist scandal, but only recently have we seen editorials calling veterans' benefits, quote, absurdly generous, or proposals for means testing and privatization. In the years ahead, 2 things are very clear. First, as time passes from our most recent wars, the needs of veterans we serve will grow. Ask the Vietnam veterans here, who now make up nearly half of our population. Second, as these wars fade from public consciousness, we'll face even greater challenges maintaining the momentum we've built. We'll represent a smaller share of the electorate and face competing federal priorities. Now, the sky is not falling, but keeping the promise will not get easier. Fortunately, we have the structure in DAV. We have the purpose. We have the talent, much of it right here in this room, to meet uncertainty head on. As veterans hear about reductions in force and recognize patterns of history repeating themselves, many are hearing the call to continue their service through DAV. As we grow our membership, we'll be joined by more who recognize that DAV's mission is focused on achieving justice for our most deserving Americans. They'll build upon our shared legacy and uphold the most timeless value of military service, never, ever leaving our own behind. And they'll know whether or not they've heard of Smedley Butler, whether or not they believe war is a racket, that keeping our promise to all those who served is and always will be a sacred calling, and our fight will continue. Thank you for your contributions to our cause, the hope that you instill, and for making DAV part of your life's mission. Commander, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Barry, for that important look at such a successful year. I know we have many ahead of us under your leadership. Thank you so much. The chair will entertain a motion to accept our National Adjutant's outstanding report. May I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Each year, DAV recognizes a veteran who steps up, goes above and beyond, and serves as a shining example of fulfilling DAV's commitment in supporting the men and women who served. All despite their illness and injuries, and this year's veteran is certainly no exception. Ken David was drafted into the Army in August of 1969. By May that following year, Ken was involved in a fierce battle in Vietnam, and despite being wounded, he continually exposed himself in an effort to draw enemy fire away from other American soldiers. Each time the enemy concentrated their attack on the wounded soldiers, Ken would jump up from his position, yelling to protect his injured comrades. He saved 17 Americans that day, and last year he was awarded with the nation's highest award for valor on the battlefield, the Medal of Honor. Transitioning back to civilian life was a challenge for Ken, like so many other veterans. He isolated himself, holding within the emotional scars of war. But that began to change when he found DAV at Chapter 11 in Warren, Ohio. Despite the long-awaited recognition, Ken is known to help any veteran, regardless of background. In the eternal words of his mentor, Sam Lanza, a Marine veteran of the Battle of Okinawa, a veteran is a veteran is a veteran. Now let's get to know Ken a little bit better with this video.
When I got out in '71, the way I was treated was very disrespectful. It was hard, and I told myself, whatever I can do to fight to make it easier for the next person behind me, that's what I'm going to do. Graduated in '68, got drafted in '69, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, on to Fort Polk, Louisiana, home for a week, and off to Vietnam.
I remember when Kenny went to Vietnam and we drove to Youngstown Airport. Being young, you don't really realize and understand what war is and what everything like that is all about.
Nobody knew about Vietnam. It wasn't on the news. If it was, us kids didn't listen. And even on the plane over, where's Vietnam? Where's Vietnam? Nobody knew.
I think my father going through what he went through in World War II, I think he was tremendously afraid.
And we taxied out to the runway, and when the pilot put the pedal to the metal, we all had headphones on. That's when they played Leaving on the Jet Plane. So you got 225 guys crying because half of them knew they weren't coming home. A couple hours before daylight is when they came at us. Explosions were going off. They counted 18 around me that did not go off. I fell and bouncing. I can't tell you how many I threw back before they blew up. And I kept fighting, and not knowing I was even wounded, the adrenaline was pumping so high, and Sarge kept screaming on the radio for help.
Each time the enemy attempted to concentrate its fire on the wounded inside the perimeter, Private First Class David would jump from his position and yell to draw the enemy fire away from his injured comrades.
I just remember screaming and standing up and just doing my thing. I don't know if it was the pain, I don't know, but they said I was screaming like a wild man. They were eyeball to eyeball with me, and I never realized I was the only one left. I just kept doing, you know, they tried to kill me, and I just tried to protect what I could protect.
Private First Class David carried a wounded comrade to a sheltered position. He then returned to the contact area and continued to engage the enemy and provide covering fire for the wounded until the enemy broke contact and fled.
Ken was the last one to get on the helicopter to get off the ground. So essentially, if it weren't for Ken's actions that day, we would have no idea what happened on Abandoned Fire Support Base Maureen, because no one would have lived.
When Kenny came home from the service, he was isolated.
My high school friends that went to college, they didn't want to hear nothing about the military. They were getting tear gas at Ohio State when I was over there shooting people. And then you just learn to shut down. The government took my smile away. Because, you know, when you live with pain in your back and your knees, it just goes away.
He was a different person when he came home, and it took him a while, you know, to come back, but it didn't change him as far as being the wonderful person that he is, the caring person and the protector. When Kenny got involved with DAV and the veterans, his whole world changed. It was like he was home. He was home helping and doing what he was meant to be doing.
This is Sam Lanza. He was our adjutant for 40-some years, if not longer. He's a good man.
Sam would take Ken kind of under his wing. He always used this line, a veteran is a veteran is a veteran. And what he meant by that was it didn't matter where they came from, what their upbringing was, what they did wrong or right in life. If they served in the military, then Sam was going to treat them with the respect that they deserve.
A veteran is a veteran is a veteran. And I took it to heart. And when he had a stroke, I told him I would carry on his legacy.
A lot of the success of the chapter, one, started with Sam Lanza and has continued because of Ken David.
Kenny has a laser focus on helping others all the time, not just part-time. It's a full-time desire for him.
I am both adjutant and treasurer of Chapter 11 of Trumbull County here in Ohio.
Anything that goes on with the military around here, Kenny's usually involved. He volunteers or he has the group of guys here together that goes with him and helps perform different tasks.
He's a helpful member of the Disabled American Veterans. He's constantly volunteering. He's always there. He's sort of the steady, constant one.
Getting help from my fellow veterans is a lot easier today than it was 50 years ago. And we are making it possible for them to get it easier not go through all the hoops the way we did back in the 70s.
He didn't hesitate because he knew his fellow soldiers needed help. Just like every day here, if he thinks a veteran needs help, he'll help him. He doesn't do it for a pat on the back. He does it because he wants to, for the love of veterans.
Because that's the kind of guy he is. You don't find very many Kennys. Matter of fact, we need more Kennys in the world.
It's hard to describe how emotional I was when the president put that on him and shook his hand.
It's going to be able to put my chapter 11 into the spotlight along with the national and department, and I'll do as much good as I can to get our name out there and to help veterans. Because it's not about me, it's about all the people around me.
Ladies and gentlemen, for his consistent service to his fellow disabled veterans across Ohio, it's my distinct honor to introduce Ken David, our 2025 Disabled Veteran of the Year and DAV Life Member of Chapter 11 in Warren, Ohio.
Good morning. Who's from Ohio? OH! 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 Oh, not many. Thank you very much, Commander, for this great honor. It's always been a blessing to represent my fellow DAV members. It's been said that I am a man of few words. It's true. Just like I told the Pentagon, I don't like to brag about what I did. I let others tell my story. However, if I can leave you with any message, it's that never, never say no to a fellow veteran. And never, never give up on them. Our nation owes a debt of gratitude to anyone who served. It's DAV that follows through on that sacred responsibility and pushes our leaders to do the same. And I want my leaders at the Department of Ohio, I want to especially thank them for nominating me for this honor and everybody involved for the packet that was presented to National. And please know I am here to do whatever is needed to help our fellow veterans. Thank you. I salute you.
Our next guest represents a company that goes above and beyond the call of duty to serve those who've served. USAA. USAA's commitment to veterans and their families runs deep, from financial readiness programs to disaster relief to supporting critical initiatives like DAV's mission of service. USAA continually demonstrates what it means to stand beside those who've worn the uniform. Today, to present DAV with a generous donation of $600,000, we welcome to the stage retired Major General Johnny Richardson.
Johnny Richardson, Senior Vice President and Head of Military Affairs at USAA, leads a team of 50 veterans nationwide, who promote the brand, protect the association's reputation, drive military advocacy, and ensure USAA is the top choice for the military community. A West Point graduate and retired Major General, he served 33 years in the Army, commanding from platoon to division and completing 5 combat tours.
Thank you. That must be my walk-on music. Well, good morning, DAV and the auxiliary. It is quite an honor to be here, and how humbling it is to stand in the footsteps of Ken David, who was just up here. What an inspirational story. The commander did a great job of summarizing his citation, but I would encourage you all, if you have an opportunity to read it again. I saw him backstage and I said to him, "You are the epitome of the American soldier," and it was quite an honor to meet him. And if I could just take a moment to ask all the Vietnam veterans, if you're able, please stand and let me be the one that says to all of you, welcome home. As Chris Easley was telling his story on his early memories of the DAV, I was sitting in the crowd and I was thinking to myself, what's my first memory? And it's a pretty powerful one to me. I had 3 great-grandfathers that served in World War I. One was a draftee, made it to the rank of sergeant in the trenches. 2 were West Pointers, and 1 was seriously wounded on the battlefields of World War I. That was my great-grandfather, Spencer. And I knew him, and my first memory of DAV was 1976. I was 8 years old, and he was in his 80s, and my grandmother took me to visit him. And he'd moved out of assisted living, and he was now in the hospital. And we went to visit him, and they didn't bring very many of his belongings to the hospital room, pictures of families, a couple books that were important to him. And then there was the garrison cap sitting on his side table, the garrison cap that I see many of you wearing today. And I was 8, and I thought it was cool. I thought it must be an Army thing. I knew he'd been in the Army. I wanted to be in the Army. And so I took it off the table, and I put it on my hat, and I'm marching around the room, and I walked over to him, and he took my hand and he squeezed it. He wasn't really verbalizing much at this point. And I asked him, I said, what's this hat? And he squeezed a little bit tighter. And my grandmother's the one that actually answered it, and she said, "This is an organization that supports veterans. And it has supported your great-grandfather for his whole life, and it's why he is going to pass with dignity." And for that reason, it is such an honor for me to be here representing the 38,000 employees of USAA and the 14 million members that we serve. And as you... And as I prepared my remarks, I thought to myself, I am inspired by history. I get so much inspiration from those who went before us. And so I wanted to find out a little bit more about DAV. And I was stunned at the parallels between the origins of DAV and USAA. Both stood up right after World War I to fill a need. For the DAV, it was Captain Robert Marks, a disabled veteran from World War I, who was determined to ensure that veterans received the medical care that they had earned, vocational training, and employment opportunities. And it has grown to this juggernaut that supports our veterans. USAA stood up 2 years later in 1922 to fill a need. Service members were not getting car insurance from insurance companies because they had raised their right hand to serve their country and that were now considered high risk. And so 25 officers got together and they pooled their money and they said, we'll insure each other. And USAA was born. In both cases, there was a need, there was a gap, and then there were leaders that took action. They took action to build better lives for our veterans, their families, and the caregivers. And I will tell you, our CEO is laser focused on what's important to USAA when it comes to advocating for veterans. And it falls into 3 buckets: meaningful careers, financial security, and overall well-being. And I can't think of a better partner to move forward with in those 3 buckets than the DAV. You have been critical partners with us in Face the Fight, a national coalition that is determined to reduce veteran suicide, who's already prevented thousands of losses and is predicted to have saved 6,500 veteran lives by 2032. We've walked with you on your 5K, and we have been the title sponsor for the last 10 years, and we are so proud and committed and enthusiastic to continue this shared mission with you all to better the lives of our disabled veterans, those who served, their families, and their caregivers. Thank you so much for the noble cause that you're on, and for everybody in this room, thank you for your service to this great nation. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership, General Richardson, and for USAA's unwavering commitment to those who have served this great nation. Created in 2005, the DAV's Bugle Award recognizes those who have made outstanding contributions as members of the media for disabled veterans. Today, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce to you an individual who has gone above and beyond to amplify veteran voices and is most deserving of this recognition. Craig McKee is a U.S. Air Force veteran, having served for 9 years as a military journalist. When Craig transitioned to civilian sector, he kept his commitment to continue telling compelling stories that matter. His broadcast journalism career has been fueled by a passion to support his fellow brothers and sisters in arms and to advance the interests of veterans nationwide. Prior to his recent move to Arizona, Craig was an anchor and journalist for WCPO 9 News in Cincinnati, Ohio. Through his exceptional Homefront series, Craig became one of the most effective and compassionate media voices advocating for veterans, especially those who served by DAV in our founding city and region. His journalism goes beyond storytelling. He actively refers veterans to DAV for help with benefits, particularly in complicated cases where his guidance can make a critical difference. His powerful ride-along story with our DAV Transportation Network highlighted the urgent need for volunteer drivers to help veterans reach critical VA medical appointments, led to a surge in local volunteerism, resulting in more than 50 new potential volunteers stepping forward to serve. This is but one example of the tangible and lasting impact of his work. Please look to the screen for a montage of his outstanding Homefront series.
In this week's Homefront, a recognition decades in the making for a Marine from Cleves. The Department of Veterans Affairs is at the center of the fight, and local vets are holding out hope the VA will finally do what's right. Tonight on Homefront, women veterans have an identity crisis.
We found that when women veterans come back, especially from wartime deployment, there's expectations. Your mom.
Welcome back from the war. Tomorrow you have to take the kids to school.
Right.
The most historic upgrade to veteran health care changed the landscape in 2023. The PACT Act changes the world for millions of veterans who fought hard for benefits.
Right now, the Major Richard Starr Act could be a solution which has bipartisan support.
You're thinking we're going to finally get the coverage that you've been asking for. Did that happen?
No, continue to deny.
I'm not greedy, but give me what I can do.
I have graduated in many ways to a different person, and thank God for that.
All this week, Homefront is in Norfolk, Virginia with the Navy. The first time that you had to actually drop that tail hook and try it.
I still remember that one, and I made it, and it's a jolt.
So nothing can really stop you at this point.
Once I'm in it, I'm hell on wheels.
You're smiling here.
I landed. I did it right, and I'm standing up.
What is it that you get out of doing this?
I get a lot. I think it's nice to be able to help.
What does it feel like, John, to be back in this seat?
Great. If you believe in something, go out and do something about it. That's my message.
Yeah.
Saying hello and goodbye one more time.
You made that connection.
Made that connection, yeah.
Regardless of the politics of it, the real story is of those who served.
Ladies and gentlemen, for his compelling storytelling, hands-on advocacy, and unwavering commitment to veterans, it is my honor to introduce our 2025 Bugle Award winner, Craig McKee.
Hello. First, I have to thank the most beautiful person in this room, and that is my wife. 28 years ago-ish, I looked at this woman, an Army soldier, and I fell in love. 11 months later, we were married. And I know she married me for better housing. But fortunately, she did fall in love with me later. So thank you. My son is also here today, so thank you for being here and supporting me, sir. Aerospace engineer, possibly going into the Navy, we'll see. There you go Navy. A lot to be determined there. Shout out to my girls as well, my girls who have supported me through this crazy journey. You know, the DAV was not something I was very much aware of, actually, until I was in Cincinnati, and I kept going to the Cincinnati VA, and they said, hey, have you ever checked on your disability status or anything? And I'm so glad that they asked that question, because of course I said, I don't have any issues, I'm good. You know, both arms, both legs, etc. I was not in combat. I don't have any issues. And they said, BS. So Todd Sledge and his team literally dragged me down the hall to the DAV representative, and within a half hour, I was not only in the system, I had my appointments made to go through my evaluation, etc. And thanks to the DAV and the hardworking group there in Cincinnati, I'm now a lifetime member of the DAV. So I'm honored and humbled, obviously, by today's award. To Commander Daniel Contreras, members of the DAV, of course, Mr. Rob Lewis, Dan Clare, Cody Van Boxel, all there in Cincinnati, the headquarters, thank you so much. I've worked very closely with you in many of those stories, of course, to bring me here today. It's an incredible honor to stand before this room filled with such strength, sacrifice, and service. When I first heard about receiving this award, I was humbled. Frankly, I was a little overwhelmed because truthfully, telling veteran stories has never, ever been about recognition. It's been about responsibility. I've spent nearly 30 years as a journalist, but before I ever stepped into any civilian newsroom, I served as a broadcaster in the United States Air Force. Well, in that experience, where's my Air Force? Where's my blue? All right. A little blue on today to represent. But that experience not only shaped my career, but my sense of duty to keep serving even after that uniform came off. The challenges, as we all know, do not end when the deployment does. They just shift. Too often, the battles continue, whether it's access to care, benefits, housing, employment, or simply just being heard. And that's why I've made it my mission to use whatever platform I have to shine a light on those stories, to make sure America sees and hears its veterans, not just on Veterans Day, but every day. I've certainly had the privilege of meeting veterans from all walks of life. I'm now an honorary Manchu. Any Manchus in the house? From World War II heroes who never spoke of their service until their final days, to young men and women navigating the invisible wounds of modern war. Every story has left a mark on me. I've learned that sometimes the most impactful journalism isn't breaking news, it's breaking silence. And when a veteran trusts you with their story, it's not just sharing memories, they're entrusting me with the truth, the dignity, and often pain. That trust, of course, is sacred. Standing here today, I'm deeply aware that this award is not just about my work, it's about the power of storytelling. Journalism at its best is not about headlines, I should say, or ratings. It's about truth. And so oftentimes, it's about being the voice of those who can no longer speak for themselves. In fact, one of the first veteran profiles I ever did years ago was about a Marine who said, "I don't need a parade. I just want my brothers and sisters to be okay." That struck me, because that's the heart of our veteran community, the selfless, driven by service and always looking out for one another. We have a common thread right here. I'm your brother. To everyone in here who served, we have that common thread. We're all related. You are all my battle buddy, and I am yours. Whether you live in California or New Jersey, I've received those phone calls. When I've had certain stories run, I've received those calls or emails saying, "Hey, can you help me?" And I've been able to refer to the DAV. I've been able to pick up that phone and say, "Hey, I have a vet. We need to send him a lifeline," and we make it happen. DAV, of course, embodies all of those spirits that I spoke about. And what you do every day here, advocating and empowering, supporting, the very definition of leadership, of course. So to be recognized by DAV is deeply meaningful. This award, of course, may have my name on it, but belongs just as much to every veteran who has trusted me with their stories, to the producers and photojournalists who help bring them to life, and again, to my family, who inspires me to do this work with integrity and heart. I accept the Bugle Award not as a symbol of achievement, but as a reminder we still have so many more stories to tell. We still have battles to fight, and I will continue to stand with you shoulder to shoulder here as we work to make sure every veteran gets the respect, the resources, and the recognition they deserve. Thank you again, DAV, for this honor, and for never letting our veterans be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig, for your service to our nation that has continued as a civilian storyteller. I will now ask our National Adjutant to read DAV's statement of policy, to list committee advisors whom I have appointed and who received the approval of the National Executive Committee at its most recent meeting, and to make any further announcements.
With all the technology that we have, I'm not sure why our team can't make my voice sound like Craig's. I'll now read into the record National Commander Contreras' appointed Convention Committee advisors. For the Committee on Credentials, Assistant National Membership Director Doug Wells and National Judge Advocate Mike Dobmeyer. For the Committee on General Resolutions and Membership, Associate National Legislative Director Joseph LeMay and Assistant National Legislative Director Naomi Mathis. For the Committee on Legislation and Veterans Rights, National Legislative Director Joy Illam and Deputy National Service Director for Training Scott Hope. For the Committee on Constitution and Bylaws, Inspector General Ed Hartman, Deputy Inspector General Ryan Burgos, and past National Commander Rob Reynolds. For the Committee on Employment, National Employment Director Lamar Kauser and Assistant National Employment Director Jeremy Yost. For the Committee on Hospital and Voluntary Services, National Voluntary Services Director John Kleindienst and Deputy National Legislative Director John Retzer. And lastly, for the Committee on Nomination of National Officers, past National Commander Joe Johnston and Executive Director of the Department of Connecticut, Al Church. Advisors can pick up their committee folders from the Resolutions Office located in room Normandy 2, located on the 4th floor of the Horseshoe Versailles Tower. I'd also like to read the DAV Statement of Policy. The Disabled American Veterans was founded on the principle that this nation's first duty of its wartime disabled. This principle envisions high-quality hospital and medical care provided by the Department of Veterans Affairs for veterans with disabilities incurred in or aggravated by service in America's armed forces. 2, adequate compensation for the loss resulting from such service-connected disabilities. 3, vocational rehabilitation and/or education to help the disabled veteran prepare for and obtain gainful employment. 4, enhanced opportunities for employment and preferential job placement so that the remaining ability of the disabled veteran is used productively. And 5, adequate compensation to the surviving spouses and dependents of the veterans whose deaths are held to be service-connected under laws administered by the Department of Veterans Affairs. 6, enhanced outreach to ensure that all disabled veterans receive all benefits they have earned and that the American people understand and respect the needs these veterans encounter as a result of their disabilities. It therefore follows that we will not take action on any resolution that proposes legislation designed to provide benefits for veterans, their surviving spouses, and dependents, which are based upon other than wartime service-connected disability. We shall not oppose legislation beneficial to those veterans not classified as service-connected disabled, except when it is evident that such legislation will jeopardize benefits for service-connected disabled veterans. And while our first duty as an organization is to assist the service-connected disabled, their surviving spouses, and dependents, we shall, within the limits of our resources, assist others in filing, perfecting, and prosecuting their claims for benefits. Since this represents the principle upon which our organization was founded, and since it is as sound at this time as it was in 1920, we hereby reaffirm this principle as our policy of the Disabled American Veterans. I do have a few other announcements. Sorry for the delay there. I forgot my spectacles. Next slide. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, this year's service and legislative seminar is also, there's also going to be a special live taping of DAV's podcast. It's an Ask Me Anything format, so don't miss this unique opportunity to hear directly from members of DAV's service team and legislative team. Those who are interested in attending should be in their seats by 1:45. Please be in your seats for the 2 o'clock seminar by 1:45 so that the seminar can begin promptly at 2 o'clock. Please review your program for details. Beginning this afternoon at 4:15, convention committees are scheduled to meet. Those of you who have been elected to our convention committees are asked to be on time in the room assigned for your meeting. We ask the committees to complete their work as soon as possible, but of course, more importantly, as thoroughly as possible. Those who plan to attend the introduction of national officers and dinner on Tuesday evening must RSVP for the gathering. We've unfortunately reached capacity for the event, but those who wish to be added to a wait list for the meal must register no later than tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Tickets will not be issued for this event. Instead, an email will be sent by Tuesday morning to attendees who RSVP'd, noting their assigned table number and further instructions regarding how to check in at the entrance to the dinner. We'll also inform those on the wait list should additional seats become available. Check your program or the convention app on your phone for more information, please, on all of our events and links to view and download photos, videos, reports, and other content. Every year, A&W celebrates National Root Beer Float Day on August 6th. And in exchange for a free root beer float, A&W asks their guests to pay it forward. Together with franchise partners, they have raised over $650,000 for DAV since 2017. $650,000 from A&W. Thanks to our great partners at A&W, immediately following our opening session, so you can ruin your lunch, free root beer floats will be made available to you all in Concord A. We're giving away 3. I'm almost done. We're giving away 3. Boy, I really messed up with the glasses thing today. We're giving away 3 $50 gift certificates that can be redeemed at the DAV store, online, or here during the convention. All registered convention attendees are eligible but must be present to win. Ann Puck, Christine Nelson, and Larry Gray. If I called your name and you're in the hall, please see Assistant National Membership Director Doug Wells up here near the front of the stage as soon as we adjourn. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able to, please rise, and I'll ask Chaplain Varner Dancer to lead us in closing prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty Creator, once again we come to celebrate all that has gone before us, all those that received great rewards and made great donations. We ask that your continued blessing be upon them as we continue to go forth in this convention, knowing that you're leading and guiding us on the right path and the right truth. So as we continue, we ask that your continued grace be with us with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. These and all things we ask in your name. And the people of God said, amen.
The convention stands in recess until 9 a.m. tomorrow.